India regional finals in New Delhi after that one, because they seemed to like me, which I was very pleased with, and I had an amazing time there. And then yeah, it's been that way ever since. I went to Berlin, had a good time, and been to every global final since.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Actually, I same as you then, because yeah, we had the same agent. 3 days before I got flown out to do the show, and actually I had my it's not A levels, but I was like in an extra school that's dedicated to marketing and esports and stuff. It was an esports school I was in, and I asked my director, like the guy managing the entire school, like, can I leave to do this? And he's like, who is it for? And I said, it's PUBG Mobile. It's a really big thing. He's like, okay, if you get the job and you show me a contract, I'll write that you passed the exam. So yeah, I flew over, did the show, and he saw it on the stream, and he's like, okay, you passed your exam because you're actively working in esports. I was like, okay, cool, thank you, good deal.
I mean, that works. That works. You know, you get.
He was a chill guy. Yeah, he was super
I mean,
nice.
that's kind of cool, right? Because it's like he obviously knows what's up. Like, it's yeah, it's a good teacher to be able to admit, actually, the things that I'm teaching you here, you're probably going to be learning there anyway. And instead of being like, no, you need to do my tests, like they're obviously paying attention to their students. So yeah, big up to them. Unless the teacher, in which case then I've not got any.
No,
it sounds like they were pretty good.
I don't remember what he taught me, but because of that, I know how, like, good spots on the angle. So it depends on what you find more valuable. I know how to rotate your way through depending on the circle. So to each their own. Yeah, it worked out for me. Then I can't complain.
Absolutely.
Venezuela here, 4 players in a car. You know what? This is going to be fun. I'm pretty sure you remember this. You remember when we had that UAZ skin a while ago? And there was one skin in particular where you could hide on the rooftop, and we had that one finish where the guy was not spotted, and they could not find him. The entire 8 games, like, where is this guy?
Yeah, I do remember
that. I patched it. Oh.
Was it the NASA car? I think it was.
Yes, it was. But it's nerfed now. You can't do that anymore. But that was insane.
Yeah, that was actually crazy. Like, just full body coverage, just literally no way to see him unless you know that you could be in there. It's that was real loot box behavior. Not a fan, but it was entertaining at least. So that's good news.
Yeah, I don't think that game even had any impact on the tour, like, whatsoever. It was just like, oh, that was an interesting finish, for sure. Yeah. Player of Guatemala not moving too much. Oh, okay, I thought he was AFK. No, he's fine. He's moving. He's alive. He's got a pulse. Gets onto the back side of the buggy and moving away from Saverni, which Saverni is just such a valuable drop location now, John, realistically, because before it was, it's on the edge of the map. Car spawns pretty decent. It's not too bad. But now you got that loot truck every time. Spawns in the first 2 minutes of the game. Yeah. It's so much more valuable in the big old year of 2026. It's crazy good.
Yeah, that is a pretty big year, but yeah, absolutely. It's the
biggest.
It's the biggest so far. Yeah, we've never had bigger. Actually, it depends because BC goes upwards, backwards, doesn't it? So like but
it's the biggest in
like 3000 BC.
Actually, a big negative number. Would you say it's big or it's small?
Well, okay, well. I can give you an answer to this. Wait, I don't know if you're going to like it, but there is a concept of so you know the difference between speed and velocity. Do you know this or not? Is this something that you're aware of?
I was taught that, but then I left for a tournament and I remember good spots.
Yeah, and he said you passed the exam. Yeah, okay, that's this is what you missed. Is that speed and velocity are very similar. But velocity includes direction, right? So speed is just how big something is, and velocity includes the direction of how big that speed is, basically. So you can have a negative velocity, but I don't think you can have a negative speed. You can't strictly have negative speed. You can only ever have negative velocity. And one of the concepts that comes into that is the idea of what's called magnitude, which is like essentially how far from the origin your vector of whatever you're trying to measure is, all of which is to say that the magnitude of a negative number is the same whether it's negative or the positive equivalent when it's multiplied by -1 to to turn it around. The magnitude is the same because you're always, if you're say 100 or negative 100, you're always 100 away from the origin. So it's the same magnitude, it's a different direction. That's fair. Good point.
We got lost. Sorry, it's very interesting, but I got the first half and I was like, there's a lot of big words. Hey, you know what? Hey, so if someone in chat got that, tell us. Say
it's the size of distance from 0 is sort of the size of a negative number, I would say.
So the answer to if a negative number is big or small is
big.
It's big is the answer. There you go.
But also, strictly, it is less than all positive numbers. So, let me tell you about imaginary numbers, because that is where it starts to get fun. Let's get into some complex analysis. Oh, yeah.
No, thank you. Okay, so Canada's going to go for the rotate. Oh, look at this rotation, John. This is very interesting.
But I haven't told you about my manifolds.
No!
They're topologically fascinating. God.
No, the topography of their terrain is actually negative.
The manifold of the complex functional plane cuts through itself, but within the same space. Isn't that fast? Oh, it's brilliant.
It's true, riveting.
Yeah.
Enigmatic.
You guys just don't understand sometimes, that's fine. That's fine, but it's
Look, I feel like it's time to tell you, John. The only reason why we get you hired on these shows is so you can do the bubbles every time you look at the leaderboards. That's the...
Yeah, that's... well, that makes sense,
It's the bubble man. It's John Allen.
The bubble man. Hey, I've been called worse, I'll take it.
That should be your in-game name, Bubble Man. Hey, there you go. We found you one.
I feel like I don't want to call myself that, because that implies that I'm always on the bubble, rather than, thinking about the bubble.
Nah. Wait, what?
Like you called them the bubble team, like the bubble mat, like the team that gets eliminated just outside the bubble. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that.
Nah, that's understandable. I get it.
Yeah.
Well,
I've just had an update. Neptura's told me what the score is between England and Norway. I don't know what's going on right now though. Because has it reached full time or not? It might have done. Okay. Yeah, to be fair, what a unit that man is. I don't watch football, but I get TikToks about Erling Haaland. He's brilliant.
Like, he's such a beast. I would see him in a rugby match. I'd be like, yeah, he belongs there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's crazy strong.
He's a unit.
And you see so many good memes of him too. Like, he has crazy good artwork. I don't know. His fan base is massive. We need a Haaland skin in game. Like, we got Messi in game. I don't think we have Ronaldo, but we do have a Messi skin in game. Like, you have his face and everything. Haaland, I like that. I would use that maybe.
That is true. That is true. But I don't think you could have him being like the same height as a player with a Messi skin, because that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it breaks immersion.
Part of his aesthetic is that he's just a unit, right? 6 foot, 1 million, just ready to go. At all points. Yeah.
Just make him skinny like the other Battle Royale. Does that. Make him fit the hitbox.
I don't know what you could possibly be talking about there, Max, man. So let's get back on board with the hovercraft on Colombia. They are right next to Venezuela. It seems also, the evidence all seems to suggest that we've got a Sosnovka circle.
There's actually a lot of teams here, so that would make sense, right? And if it's a northern circle, paint me surprised. I don't know why they'd be it. It wouldn't make any sense. Oh no, I was going to call him Venmo. I was like, it is.
What?
Venmo regrouping to PayPal. He's going for the play. But no, it's going to be what is this full name? Mo. Okay, I'm really losing it. It's 1 a.m., guys. I don't know. I'm seeing things.
That's true. Never call Maxman at 1 a.m. Scary. Do not watch.
I can see that thumbnail is just he's showing his face to the thumbnail, and it's just ooh.
With your Pikachu hat on. Just
it's A scary Frenchman at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Do not call him. Bad
God,
things
what a
happen.
weird period of like YouTube's like guff content that was.
I forgot about that. That was
Yeah.
Oh well. A lot of car fuel. He was waiting for his turn to fuel up the car, I think. Emperador, though, gonna try and go for a wide rotation behind the wall, try and keep that vehicle safe as Ecuador looking for a piece of the pie. And deep in the blue, they both want to cross the bridge, but if you cross the bridge first, you're gonna get backstabbed by the other squad. So it's kind of a fight. They're kind of stuck in an engagement. They can't leave too easily. Unless you had a hovercraft, then maybe you could make it over the water, but all the hovercrafts have been snatched away, I believe. So Dominican Republic and Ecuador are kind of locked in the fight. They can't escape, and that's going to be the initial knock secured by Denji. Can he flush it out, though? He's got a great line of sight, and he's got 4 grenades. Ecuador off to an amazing start in that skirmish.
A really good opener, but Dominican Republic not going to go down without a fight. The blue zone should assist here, and that is going to find the knock onto Denji. We are in stage 3, which means that it is still Resable out in the zone, but you can't afford to be wasting too much time here. The heals need to be coming through fast, and the Dominican Republic have yet to get their player back to his feet. Looks like they are going to stick that one, though, and they do manage to find them back up. Now, getting that bandage off, need to make sure that you do not go down here. Does manage to find it. The first aid comes through as well. Ecuador also looking to get that res up on the north side of it. The mouth of the bridge is all too tempting, but you can't really go for it. You're in a bit of a deadlock, a stalemate right now out in the blue zone. And in they go. 2 players rolling down onto Ades, but he's good for 1. Has the backup as well from across the way. Papisawa goes down, but they are just trading back and forth. 2 players now down for Dominican Republic. Ecuador trying to keep their players safe, but 2 of them have fallen, and it's a 1 versus 2 on the road cross.
Yeah, good push-up, Emperador, though. Got to try and make sure to secure those points. There you have it. That's going to be an extra point on their tally. Still got to be careful. And actually, while this is happening, Mexico just moving on by, but that's going to be David shot in the head, taken out of the equation entirely. Feels bad, man. They were quite smart about it. Very opportunistic. Like, okay, they're all involved in this fight. Let's just try and get the hell out of Dodge and cross that right away. But it seems like they were able to retaliate just in time. So that's going to be them up to 4 nations total for Dominican Republic. Ecuador down to 1. KPRZ. Definitely a bit of a tussle. These 2 squads were hoping to escape unscathed, John, but it's a bridge, and sometimes you're just stuck in the fight you just really can't move away from.
I will agree, but I think that my open window has just given me an insight into the result of the England game. That was a very loud noise just now. Down
Good
the way
noise or bad noise?
Well, I think good, but it depends which team you're supporting. Mexico, they are certainly looking to support their points tally right now. They lost 2 of their players moving forwards. And now they want to get some revenge here. Dominican Republic may be the team to find that pressure bearing down upon them. But at the moment, I mean, it is just Eragod looking for the nades over the top. Wants to find the knock. Keep that from getting rezzed up. The blue zone in stage 4 makes these rezzes pretty much impossible. The nade doesn't connect. Legend gets re-knocked. Emperador, did he get the heal off? The nade there, all it needs to do is tickle, and it will do so. Brilliant nade over the top. Does he get the time? He actually gets the first aid, and this might be a possibility for Mexico to get in.
Thing is, you do not heal very fast in the car. You can only use bandages, which might make it... Actually, it depends on the circle. You just don't know where the circle is. If it's next door, next to the bridge, then you might be okay. But he's feeling really confident. If he's looting, says to me at least, he's feeling quite comfortable when it comes to tanking this phase 4 blue zone damage. We've got to be quick. When he goes into phase 5, that's really when you're going to start using up most of your resources just to survive. And actually, we're going to be swapping on over to the PUBG teammate Milos that has got that hovercraft, got a ton of bandages too, and also first aids. So yeah, it seems like Mexico are still comfortably in this match, making it to top 7. So as a duo, maybe an opportunity to make it really far. But Guatemala, they've been spotting out the hovercraft. It's not a good spot to be. He just instantly shuts off the engine. And that hovercraft is actually still functional, but he jumped out really quickly. He hasn't exploded. So Milos, I feel like just scared of that vehicle exploding and taking him out, so he's just making it out of there right away. Or is he out of fuel? He actually might be out of fuel too. That could be an issue.
Definitely can be, if you're not being economical with it. But yeah, I mean, the zone is pushing so far. he's just going for a dive, you know? He's just getting his toes wet, making sure that that's all good. And I mean, they are completely split from one another, so they are basically playing as two solos, right, for Mexico. They're going to be happy to have earned that point. And he looks like, yeah, okay, he might actually just be able to get up here.
He's just going to follow the entire ridge until you can see at the top of the minimap, you got a portion of it that's in the play zone, so he's just going to try and survive. Get a few more extra placement points. That's the dream. This is the best time to maybe have the Spider-Man mode already in the game, because you can maybe scale your way up that ridge. Otherwise, the cliff is going to be a slippery slope for sure. It's Canada. This is going to be a great position in a circle. Western Mountain, I've seen so many teams get chicken dinners from this position. Just get so many strong lines of sight. And actually talking about that, they get one great knock from a range. The circle, yeah, they're dead center of that circle, John. Right now, Canada, if they play their cards right, it could be a chicken dinner finally headed their way.
An opportunity presents itself. I mean, I think we've only had 2 teams go down so far during this entire match, which is kind of crazy for a Sosnovka circle, but we are going to start to crunch them in a little bit further out to the west points here of Sosnovka. Next circle yet to come on through. Honduras losing Ander. Not ideal. That does get run down, and Venezuela happy to do so. Aragod did get spotted, so that's one of their solos. Is almost certainly not going to get back up unless they've managed to find some crazy regroup. I don't think it's going to be too good for them. The question for Canada right now, as you said, they are in a really good spot to find a chicken dinner. The next circle does keep them in it as well. The question is, can they keep this position up the top of the hill? Do they have the wherewithal to be able to control it?
Not with this split. I don't understand why teams want to go for this 3-1. I think you talked about it earlier, right, John, about these 3-1 splits that you're not the biggest fan of. And this is a prime example of this split that I just don't understand. If a team pushes up in a very specific way, maybe you'll have an angle to kind of go for the backstab from a distance. Maybe. But this is the moment where, especially look at this circle, you're on stage 5, about to go into stage 6, where that position is so valuable. This split makes no sense whatsoever to me. This would be the prime time for you to fully regroup and play on that hilltop, because teams are seeing the value of that spot and will be looking to encroach on that terrain very, very soon. It's Ecuador down to 1. KPRZ, as you saw earlier, big altercation over the bridge side. Just hoping no one's looking his way, which as of right now is the case, but the zone definitely not going to be kind to him.
Ooh, Guatemala roll up there into the hovercraft, hopping on through it, giving them the do-si-do, some fancy footwork, but is it going to be enough? 2 of their players already down. It's not going to be untrackable. Not this time around. Okay, he was looking pretty slick, but when it came down to it, there was no substance behind the shine. And he is going to be wiped away there. Nade over the top, and Colombia keep it rolling. Keep it moving. Canada don't even get a look in.
I feel like there's so much meme potential with the hovercraft clip. I could spam the button like that too, getting out of the hovercraft. And it just doesn't work out at all, yeah.
That's an Erling Haaland slide tackle compilation entry. Like that's that level of like trying to be slick, and they're just like, what are you talking about? Just pushed out the way.
Oh, I'm in and out. Oh, you can't see me. I'm too quick. Oh, you got me. Okay. But Canada, Klaus again, off angle. I mean, this angle, I kind of get it, because if you can maybe wound the team, that could be a good opportunity. But he does overpeak a little bit, gets punished by Molina. But actually, they're down to 2 bullets now. Gonna have to make sure to get some extra ammo if you can. I feel like he got some ammo in the trunk there for a second of his car. So that's going to put them in a bit of a better standing in this game. But Klaus, he's going to be taken out. And again, the split, not a fan of it. It's really just wounding, hurting this strong foothold they have in this circle. And now, from a 4-man down to a 3-man, that defense is going to be so much tougher to go for. So yeah, Canada, we said everything's looking so good for them, positionally speaking. But if they can't defend it successfully, that chicken dinner might just slip right in between their fingers.
With 3 players, they have got a shot still. Just need to keep their wits about them. 4 teams are going to try and take this from them. I think there's a couple of very low player counts, though, with 13 players remaining. It is really not too many to be worrying about there. And Canada do have oversight on a lot of it. Nobody's making moves, though. I feel like this is a very quiet situation right now. And I mean, it is exacerbated, of course, by the general lack of teams within the lobby at the start, right? Going into this match with 9 teams actually in the game. It does change up the tempo quite a lot and the pacing as well. This time around, though, the circle shifts hard northwest, and that's going to force Honduras to go for a wide wrap around Venezuela. Pretty happy about this position. Canada as well do manage to get the cut on the teams to the southeast, which should hopefully give them angles to control that area.
Could be the case, but you've got to be careful behind you. You can see on the minimap, Honduras going to go for a bit of a wide northern rotate. Main thing you want to do for Venezuela is make sure no one gets in nade range. Your buildings don't... Actually, it's not even about the grenades, it's about the Molotovs, because this is a wooden floor building. Would easily spread and literally take out the entire team. And if you're forced outside of the building, Canada's got an angle on you, and the rest of Honduras too. Just make sure no one gets in about a 50-meter range of you, and this should be a pretty safe transition for Venezuela to make it to the next circle. There's only 13 players remain, 5 teams. Getting to the podium, though, is really what these guys want to go for to make sure they secure as many placement points as humanly possible. As Milos swaps over from that hovercraft over to a supercar. Definitely a fancier way to make his way across the map. Actually, wait, is that the Ferrari? Oh, I think, yeah. I know it's Lamborghini. Yep. Lamborghini run out as Milos. I'm trying to heal up, get away from that car. It's about to go up in smoke. Deny to the blue zone even if you can, but no, Canada will get it, and that's their 4th point of the game.
I think that is a Ferrari. I saw the horse on the side.
Is it? I don't know. Yeah. It was just a yellow blob for me.
Yeah. It's I was able to catch that just before it cut away from his inevitable demise.
I just checked the logo. Yeah, you're right. It was the Ferrari. Yep.
Definitely. And now Colombia trying to make their way down. 2 players out towards the eastern side of this circle. Canada would love to stop them, and Honduras actually have been pretty active on their northwest side, right? They've wrapped in there. They've not really just sort of tried to hide as well. It's been nice to see. I feel like Honduras are trying to take this game into control and get some good touches on it. 1 elimination, though, doesn't really speak to that.
I really want to try and expand the elimination count just a bit more. I'll be using the MGC buggy skin to get just a bit more insight on where teams might be located, while also remaining a moving target, a bit harder to really pin down on this hillside. But Dior's got himself a great angle behind that rock. Still in the play zone, barely but surely. Waiting for phase number 7. 12 seconds to work with. And I feel like especially if they can play that ridgeline right next to Canada, that will be a strong position on the road. But oh, that's really bad. Baby Tang able to get the headshot onto Replic. Hard to get the res. He is at least in the play zone, so it's not impossible to get back up to the 3-man, but then you might just have to sacrifice your cars. And even Mail is going to be taken out of that position. Whew, Honduras were looking just so comfortable, John, and then you blink and you miss it, instantly down to just a solo.
Yeah, and they're really not going to have too much to show for this game either, with their elim tally not looking super healthy. Those placement points are going to be a consolation prize at this stage, but they aren't out of it just yet. At the moment, the east side between Canada and Colombia is prime and ready to go, right? They are absolutely on tenterhooks to get away from this one because Lone is going to push away. With Dior's actually flexing out, might look for an off angle, but both of these 2 teams on the east side very likely going to have to clash.
Most definitely. That could be a great third-party opportunity. There's also going to be a fight happening to the eastern side, right? Colombia, Canada, then west is going to be Honduras versus Venezuela. So normally in a situation like that, you would be expecting a third party, but no, both teams locked in head-to-head in their own skirmish. It's going to be kind of tough to commit to a potential third party. Honduras, we're down to a solo, but they were able to get at least 1 reset. So a duo is what you have here for the rest of this match. You're still making full use of that buggy, trying to be a hard target to hit. Replic, though, trying to put a bit of his focus over on the western squad. Venezuela, though, luckily enough, still not having to leave their compound, which is crazy that the circle's been so punted on the entirety of this match. And actually, because of that, they do get also an extra knock onto us. Down to Jaws, 1 bullet's left, and that is going to be it. The end of the line for them. Not able to make it to the podium. And that's going to be Colombia up to 5 eliminations. Molina and Madeon just popping off, John, in full style. And here, maybe able to go the entire way.
Maybe indeed. Venezuela down the hill. Looking to try and, yeah, I mean, that is going to be pretty valuable. At least you'd hope. A nade over the top. Not quite connecting just yet. Canada, who've been in the driver's seat for a lot of this game now, needing to descend from the mountaintop, but they've already managed to get that forward position. Baby Tang does manage to dodge the nade. Some damage sent back downhill as well, but the zone helps them out. And actually, it's going to force Venezuela away. Colombia not wasting any time, though. Looked like they wanted to step fully forwards, but Cloudy was there, ready and waiting on the rooftops. Those shingles stepping fancy with it. And Cloudy able to rain on their parade. Now, Venezuela looking to make their move in the shadow of those shots raining down over towards Colombia. They know they haven't got a lot of time to play around with, so any opportunity is gold dust.
To our vehicles if they have to make a push downhill. That could be really valuable in this finish. But yeah, Cloudy from this rooftop angle is just so valuable. He's just getting so much free insight for such minimal risk. The only issue, though, I do see Cloudy's got no utility. I don't know for the rest of his team. If they have no nades, making that descent away from that one main building where everyone knows you're there, incredibly tough to execute. I mean, you just got a massive target painted on that location. Everyone knows that they're going to be trying to go for an exit from that building. So if you got nades, Molotovs, you can just instantly cut off their escape route, which would look terrible for them. AC does have smokes, you know what? So that actually could make it a little bit easier to deny lines of sight of both Venezuela and Colombia. But even then, is it truly going to be enough when you're so predictable? Debatable.
Everyone's just biding their time right now. We are going to go down to the wire. This next stage closes central. Venezuela with the 4-player advantage right now. They have got the lion's share of the players in this lobby. Almost half of them playing on side 4. 5 of them against. Now, Colombia with their 2 players feels like they are such a big roadblock to Canada in their position as well. It's so difficult to get out of this one for Canada. They need smokes, they need utility.
I would say Canada needs to just commit to a push on someone. They still had cars, but now I feel like most of the cars are going to be engulfed in the blue zone. So unusable at this point because stage 9 blue zone just does way too much damage. So it's just not worth it. That's a decent nade, a little bit too short, but still the right idea, the good direction. Yeah, taking it very passive, not even a push onto Colombia, which is what I was hoping for. Oh, they still have a buggy actually in the play zone. They could try and use. Oh, they're going to try and use it up though with the MG3 push. They will start to pick up a bit of speed. So Colombia.
Oh, half an HP bar gone, but hits the deck in time to stay safe from the storm. But Cloudy rains down again, and that is going to make it all too unbearable for them. Colombia immediately taken down, and now Canada need to find an opener onto Venezuela. They still have the numbers disadvantage, and Canada want to swell over the hillside. Opening for one. Cloudy steps out for more. Baby Tang with the MG3 on the sidelines too, and there is an answer as Baby Tang falls. Now 2 versus 3 as the flush comes in. Canada could potentially look for the rest, but I don't think they've got the time to play around with, and the blue zone's going to push Cloudy out. Is this point denial? Do Canada could just give this one up because they've already managed to bring it into a 2 versus 2? With a knock onto Louise, they have got an opportunity now, and they are moving forwards. They're not going to let sleeping dogs lie. Kiddo moves on in, and Venezuela now, with their backs to the blue, have a challenge. Kiddo will not find the answer. The shotgun swap just at the wrong time, and there is no refrag. Cloudy on the back lines, and it's low HP for both, Max.
Right, it's going to be really low here. Ropes, though, swapping on over to the main weapon, the S12K, weapon of choice in CQC. Really good defense from Cloudy. Able to get himself an extra elimination. And now it's going to be down to the final 1v1, and it's going to be the low ground here, headed for the win. Venezuela securing the second chicken dinner of the day.
What a final climax there to our first of the Erangels we see for the North and Central America region. A great finish coming on through. I thought that Canada had it for just a little moment there, but Venezuela were able to keep it going just that little bit longer. Elim tallies fairly low across the board, but that's what happens when you only have 9 teams dropping on in. Those placement points are going to be really big and really tasty for Venezuela. We're going to be taking a tasty little break as well whilst we get prepared for our next matches for the rest of the day, of the evening, depending on where you're watching. See you guys in a few minutes.
como un tesoro. Y tu novio es un bobo. Mi gatita tiene todo. Pegajoso y hermoso. Con la 3 peligroso. Gana 2 veces el oro. Brillo como un tesoro. En el bosque como un lobo. Cazando el dinero, haciéndolo solo. En mi vida he visto todo. Nada puede asustarme. Solo tengo que cuidarme. Paso grande, voy a brincar, yeah. Cuando fui chiquito me dijo, Evancito, tienes que luchar. Para llegar a la cima se tiene que actuar, se tiene que escuchar. La calle te llama, la calle, la fama, que está tu hogar. Bolsillo llenado, si escucho un poco los oigo cantar. Plata me canta canciones y tengo un coro. Ganador ves el oro. Brillo como un tesoro. Y tu novio es un bobo. Mi gatito tiene todo. Pegajoso y hermoso. Con la 3 peligroso. Pegajoso y hermoso. Soy más grande que un oso. Mi pistola está muy hermosa. Y la tuya estaba soso. Mi palabra tan filoso. Porque el game es una guerra. Patrullando Panamera. Yo no ando con cualquiera. Cuando fui chiquito me dijo, Evancito, tienes que luchar. Para llegar a la cima se tiene que actuar, se tiene que escuchar. La calle te llama, la calle, la fama, que está tu hogar. Bolsillo llenado, si escucho un poco los oigo cantar. Yeah, plata me canta canciones y tengo un coro. Ganador ves el oro. Brillo como un tesoro. Y tu novio es un bobo. Mi gatita tiene todo. Pegajoso y hermoso. Con la 3 peligroso. Plata me canta canciones y tengo un coro. Ganador ves el oro. Brillo como un tesoro. Y tu novio es un bobo. Mi gatita tiene todo. Pegajoso y hermoso. Con la 3 peligroso.
Hello and welcome back to the North and Central America region. We are going to be getting underway fairly shortly. I think Natura is coming back to join us for the final four. She's bigger, better, and bigger than ever. There we go. We are getting straight into it with this. We've had our first 2 matches coming on through. I don't know if we have our scores ready and waiting for us either, but we have had some interesting games. We had a Snovka Circle to finish things off as we take a look at what is going on. Oh no, hang on a minute. No, we're back with us. Don't worry about it. But we've got 4 more matches to play in this region, and I think 4 more matches on the day. But don't take my word for it just yet. We'll have to wait and see.
We are
going to be heading straight into the game.
Oh.
We're not even going to look at. We're not even going to look at the score. We're just going straight into the game.
For your math. No, we're going to do.
Absolutely. Another angle. We're going from Kameshki, kind of quite north on this plane path here. It looks like we're just peeking out over that South George area, just over Everest.
Yeah, it's actually, wow, very northern. I don't even recognize this coastline. That's wild. Okay. And we're seeing quite a bit of. I want to say we're going to see some hot drop action just because of that plane path, how northern it is. Not necessarily in positions, but maybe in those what is called vehicle spawns, right? Everybody's going to be crowding all around those garages, probably around the Rostock area, around Georgia Pole as well. But we'll see how that's going to go. But yeah, I think that's one of the most northern plane paths we've seen in a good long while here, John.
Yeah, it's quite difficult. Fortunately, there are only 8 teams dropping in, right?
True.
Which does make this a little bit nicer. In a 16-team lobby, this would be really quite dire. But I think that there should be enough vehicle spawns for everyone to get along, sort of cohabit some sort of areas, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath for any hot drops. I'll put it that way. I feel like teams should by now have figured out it's probably a bad idea, certainly at this stage. We're on board with Mail, who's rocking some of that fresh Naruto skins, which is looking pretty good. But I imagine it stands out quite dramatically in a field, and you immediately cover it up with a helmet. So what's the point?
I mean, it's true, right? I'm all for letting the hair flow, but yeah, safety first. Helmet, hair and helmet. Hair's no good to you if you're back in the lobby, honestly. Gonna just put it that way.
Well, you've got to look good in the lobby, though. So
you do.
That's kind of like at least 60% of the point of playing PUBG Mobile is looking good in the lobby.
You know you're right, because then you get to flex on all your friends, and Canada is feeling very sad. Baby Tang, no! Down he goes. First casualty of the game. Oof. Oh, and they're gonna go to fisticuffs as well. Cloudy now under a lot of pressure here as well, down to 1 HP is... Okay, single fire it, Nitro. Okay, you know what? It's fine. It's been years of me yelling the same thing over and over again. They never listen, so you know what? Y'all do your own thing.
Well, yeah, they're just going to keep on going, though. Canada having a really tough time. They weren't quite able to convert on their high ground position in that previous match, in the Sosnovka position that they were able to hold for so long. They didn't quite get right towards the end, what they were looking for there. Although, it could very much have gone their way. They did give it a go. I will give them that. But unfortunately, losing Baby Tang this early, really not what you want to be seeing happen. Especially, as I said, given how many different places our team's going to be dropping, they did not need at all to get involved with each other when 50% of the drop spots in this match just going to be completely unoccupied.
Yeah, feels a little bit like that was on purpose, just a bit. Maybe it was. You know, it's halfway through the day now. Oh, but we do have the loot truck coming in. Has this been a feature of the games before? Because that's the first time I'm seeing it today, actually.
Of what, sorry?
The loot truck. The loot truck just getting blown to smithereens. People actually using it.
Yeah, we've had one or two, I think, but it's been well, generally maybe not caught, mostly on the observing feed. We have had a lot of P90s being thrown into the mix, though, so that sort of is evidence that they are being taken, just sort of in the wings, in the sidelines. Looks like Venezuela taking up the Milton Mantle. I believe they are in the zone, which at the moment indicates that it is a little bit southeast on the circle. Not entirely sure exactly where it's going to be falling. Of course, we have to wait till a little bit later to get more views of the edge of that circle, it seems. Yeah, we're waiting to find out just what's going on. But only one player going down so far. I'm not expected to see too much more action unfold. As we'll instead take a look at the wildlife here. What's your professional opinion of this horse?
Looks like it would be comfy to ride. Its tail will not get stuck. It's a short tail, you know, and long legs means run fast.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's just generally what you want, right? That's, well, in most scenarios, I think in PUBG Mobile, that's probably what you want. What would you call that horse is probably more important.
Sunny.
Wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't call it that.
What
That'd be a bad idea.
What would you call it?
Well, I don't know, just not that. That'd be silly.
That would be. You're so
silly.
Right. You're so right.
I'd name it after whichever player gets the most elims in this match. How about that?
How
that horse
about
gets
that?
renamed. Gets renamed to whichever player, or maybe whichever team gets the most elims in this match. I don't know if we're going to be able to track the most most elims from a player, but at the moment there's only been one. So who got the elim? Who got that first elim?
Who did it?
That's what the horse's name is.
Yeah, so far it might evolve as the match goes on.
No. We're cutting off we're stopping the vote.
Okay.
Stopping the count.
All right. Who got the one elim? Let's see. It was Colombia up against Baby Tang, right? Was that?
Yeah, Canada was the team to lose a player. I just can't remember which team it was who was fighting them. Was it Colombia?
I think it might have been Colombia. Don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Was it Dominican Republic? I don't remember.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember. Well, I'm sure we'll find out at some point.
Oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Anywho,
swapping over to Honduras now in their compound, just gathering supplies, and again, we're expecting this to be just very, very quiet early on, right? Very, very quiet indeed. With only 8 teams dropping into the lobby, there's just so much ground. You just don't need to worry really about running into anyone anytime soon, really. Probably within the next 5 minutes, at least.
At least, yeah. I'm thinking more like 10. Ain't nobody gonna be looking for anybody here. There we go, Baby Tang. Okay, so we have the team that lost the player. Where is the team that took the player? At some point, it'll just be back on stream, to be honest. They're quite a ways away from zone, actually. 1K.
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting closer, though, and it does seem like they're having to head sort of towards the south coast. I'm trying to gauge it based on the shape of the blue zone. I'm feeling like close to Lipovka, but further inland, so maybe Yas Fields?
Well, they're going to the... Oh, hang on. It could be... Oh, yeah, it could be Yas Fields, but they're going around the long way around, over onto the island.
Okay.
I
Okay,
mean,
so maybe closer to Milta.
Maybe. Maybe. Have to see. Oh, no, look, there's the circle right there. So we do have partial island circle here. If you look at the mini-map, there is that boundary of the new zone.
Ah, okay, yeah, so quite heavily south-focused.
Yeah, Milta for sure.
All right, okay, so quite a big crunch then on this zone.
Yeah.
Despite being only 8 teams, you sort of accelerate the game with this sort of a circle to around maybe stage sort of 4.5, somewhere in between 4.5 and 5. In terms of just playable terrain. So this is where 8 teams can start to get a little bit too buddy-buddy for their liking. Hopefully, everyone's going to be able to find their foot. But it's easier said than done.
Is indeed. Oh, and actually Canada not going to be happy with the... Well, it seems they're not going to be happy with an island positioning here. They're going to be moving forward, getting a little bit more busy over onto the north side here. Mexico is here. Guatemala is here. Several teams. Venezuela as well. A lot of teams coming on through here. Just trying to find a position. Actually, a decent compound there being seen. But Venezuela and Guatemala actually both taking this compound. Both coming up to it. And both running away immediately. They're like, oh, sorry. Didn't mean that. Sorry. Sorry. Going back. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
All right, chill out, guys. There's only 8 teams. We've already got placement points. We don't need to be getting too argy-bargy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be the name of the game. Yeah, Guatemala very happy to be playing with their bodyguards beneath them. It's going to be very tough to get anyone towards Guatemala's position if you're not Guatemala or maybe Venezuela.
Yeah. I mean, that is where you start to use your enemies in your favor, right? You know, using their position as a little bit of a defense mechanism in the end. So could actually spell out quite well for Guatemala because of this ridge line, because of the height that's going on. They don't actually have Venezuela don't actually have angles on Guatemala. So actually, this isn't a bad shot for Guatemala at all. Actually, it's gonna be, I think, actually a really decent position. No one really can get to them. Venezuela can't really get to them either. So Guatemala for now sitting pretty.
Yeah, definitely. A nice little opportunity for some respite. The question is transitional ability away from it, right? And how far can you get into the game? Because positions are just so important with the diminished player count. You just can't rack up the eliminations in the same sort of way as maybe some of these teams are used to. But only time will tell. We have seen some bigger and some smaller elimination performances in small lobbies, so definitely still all up for grabs here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, France has been dominating today so far. Well, not so
but that's
far, but they
France in that
dominated.
lobby. I feel like that's...
It's true, it's true.
kinda...
But they only had like 9 teams as well, you know. Still managed a decent point range. But yeah, it is kind of just France, really. That might be fair.
They were seemingly head and shoulders above most of the rest of the lobby. They ended the day pretty stylishly as well. Making a lot of points. Venezuela just biding their time. I mean, everybody is biding their time. We still have only had 1 elimination, and it was right at the start of the match.
It was. Dang. Yeah, we're batting 1,000 at the moment. 12 minutes in, 1 elimination. Nothing else going on. I'm guessing you're hearing a lot of vehicles up and down your
Yeah,
street there.
it's it's manageable right now.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't turned the ignition on yet. I think they're all dancing around.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of celebrations going on
Yep.
tonight in the UK. Even if they didn't do super well in the ENC, but to be honest, I don't think that's what everyone's at the pub for.
Everybody's there watching ENC. Yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
Hey, semifinals though, not bad. I mean, it is
There you
England.
go.
You're supposed to, really, but anyway.
Well, yeah. So, when's the last time we got to the? Okay, look, you're diverting me, and I don't even like football. How's that happen?
You know what? Neither do I, but I just watch the World Cup because I can.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, yeah, because French is doing well. Yeah, okay.
Because
France
French
is good.
Yes.
Yeah. To be fair, I probably will now have to go and watch the matches because at this point it's less about specifically being into it and more about like it's probably going to be a pretty good laugh. Wherever you go and watch it.
Exactly. It's always so much fun. You feel like you're such a part of a community because there's complete strangers all cheering about the same thing, and I'm like, yes, I want part of that. Heck yeah. Let's all dress up in French flags and go to the local, pub or whatever. It's great.
Yeah, no one does pubs quite like England though.
That's so true.
It's a specialty.
It is.
It's a specialty.
It is. Quite.
You know, we've got pubs like comedy TV shows and like panel comedy shows.
Yes. Love me some QI.
That's like some real specialist English.
Oh yes. Oh, and Springwatch. Don't forget
culture.
Springwatch.
Oh, well, I generally do forget Springwatch actually.
I have forgotten Springwatch
I
the
actually
last 15 years, but as a child,
I forget it most of the time.
I made my poor family watch it every single year for 2 weeks. I was like, we are
such a shame that you only made your poor family watch it. What about the rich family? They were let off the hook, were they?
They were, yeah.
They could pay the exit toll that you demanded at the door.
Exactly. I get allowance and people to watch Springwatch with.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
2 for 1. 2 for 1. Oh dear, Canada.
Uh-oh.
Caught at the bottom of the barrel here a little bit. The Che on an aid, but maybe they're able to jump out, bite them on the nose here in Guatemala. I mean, they looked fairly safe on this coastline. We were talking about how secure they felt, but Canada, Rockman, they have no idea how to handle this, seemingly. Nubez actually dropping down, slips off the edge of the cliff there. I don't know if they've spotted that or if they know what is happening, but yeah, okay, they are going to be aware of it now. Trying to shut it down, goes 1 for 1. A trade still going on, and Canada are giving this a really good go. Mr. Terro, can he connect on the spray down? No, he can't. Canada survive and take down Guatemala. Okay, that is not what I thought would have happened there. That is pretty crazy.
That is insane. Guatemala had such a good position, and Canada on the lower cliff side just able to win each individual 1v1. That is crazy, and the full reset should be coming through there as well. Colombia now moving through. We shall see now who's doing what. Oh, Honduras. A really nice first impression there, but not going to be able to do much. Where are those vehicles going? Everybody's flipping over, and Reyes using that confusion to do the work. There we go. Honduras down to a duo, I believe, there. Colombia actually not looking so pretty good themselves because the rest of Honduras is coming in now. Yeah, that's going to be the cavalry coming on in, and now Honduras are in a little bit of a world of hurt.
That is going to be tough stuff. Everybody suffering now on the inside of this compound. Colombia, though, keeping themselves nice and level-headed, may be able to get themselves back up to 3 on the inside here, but that nade looks pretty brutal. We'll find what it's looking for. Now just one player on the inside. The rest can come through over onto Honduras. The nade is getting cooked, sure. For Molina, will the bounce be on target? It looks nice and does get that flush. There's a point earned, so not all done and dusted just yet. Colombia still with more to say. No third parties really looking to come on through as Molina once more. Replic has 4 nades though, and I feel like avoiding all of them might just be too difficult. Bobbling one out the side as well to make things harder. Ooh, don't want to get too close to that one.
Gosh, he was really playing with fire with that one though. Should I go over to it? Should I not? In the end decides it's not a good idea. Now that's the nade cookie. That's an excellent nade. That should, oh, it does it. It does actually end up just, there we go. Just not getting there, but the nades where the nades fail. it is going to be the Dominican Republic to move on in and take that trophy, take that final elim, and that's going to be them out there. Just like that, Honduras lose 2 but gain 3 points.
Dominican Republic on that northwest side with 4 players alive. Ecuador a little bit further east of them. Just biding their time right now, playing to the east sides of Milta, over this peninsula, really starting to get crunched in here. Honduras across the way. They'll be aware of that position. They will have heard all of the gunfire from earlier on. And the circle does shift south, so helps out Honduras a little bit. Dominican Republic not going to waste any time in immediately jumping into those vehicles, getting on the road. They need to move fast and take some zone here. 6 teams remain.
6 teams, 20 players left, and it's only stage 5. My goodness me. What times we live in, John. But yeah, Dominican Republic going to be moving in for a full send there, and Honduras are like, no thank you, we're good. And we're going to be splitting out of here. A big split, actually, quite literally. A 1-1 split. They're going in opposite directions. Maybe with that hovercraft, going to try and just do a little wraparound. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be the case. Going to be able to move on through and just grab a vehicle, go over to the cliffside, and do what they need to do. Interestingly enough, I am not seeing any Venezuelans. I'm not seeing any Canadians on this side as well. Perhaps just they're a little bit too far south to really show up here, but I would have thought they're a little bit closer than shown here. So might want to still watch out for that.
Yeah, I mean, they might still be scrapping out on that east side, right?
True.
It wasn't super easy to extricate yourself. Ecuador moving on that north side, just trying to get a little bit closer to the zone. It's going to slow things down as well. Emperador on this this point with that ghillie suit may look to start to establish some control closer towards that peninsula. Get a foot through that door. Try and wedge it open a little bit. But no, they are just dropping those smokes, waiting for that rollout. They don't need to make a move just yet, but they are allowing teams to move further in on their east flank. And that may prove to be a pretty crucial decision to see if it's going to play out well for them in the long run.
Yes, indeed. I was just wondering who the team at the top was. It is going to be Ecuador in control of the northern side, where everybody else is in compounds on the south side. There's actually a lot of area away from the rest of the teams here that are going to be looking to just kind of control this area, right? So Ecuador having a really good spot just because they're able to see exactly what everybody's doing. Unfortunately for them as well, that does kind of bite them in the end, because that same bit of ground that they were able to use to just, you know, make sure nobody was coming to them means that they are going to be very visible when they inevitably have to push on out. Not quite in zone here. They have to move forward, and there's a big old field right in front of them.
Yeah, difficult open grounds across, right? There's a lot of angles going to be looking at them. They're going to be hoping that there's not too many players stood in those angles to take those shots, but that is not something you want to be relying on. Canada able to give it a real good go to get out onto this cliffside. Have managed to keep 2 players up through it all with 4 eliminations as well. They want to get deep into this game and try and prove themselves worthy, as they have to move a lot further north now, though, and that is a difficult shift for them.
It's going to be a very difficult shift. I mean, Canada have been on the back foot this entire match. I mean, losing Baby Tank super early, Cloudy getting chased down, Klaus now losing as well. So just down to a duo, they continue to have to move in, do stuff, do extra, just to win and see if they're able to actually do something here. Honduras are going to be moving forward. That actually might give Canada a little bit of an opening here, especially if Mexico and Honduras go at it. Might be a little bit of a third-party opportunity or a little bit of vacuum there, and now the shots are going to be getting taken down over onto Ecuador as that initial push is being made. They do make it actually across the across the field there, but I don't know if the rest could make it. Everybody now is very aware of what their plan is.
Mexico spray down towards Ecuador, and they are just about going to draw short. Honduras able to find the first piece, though, and they are looking for more as well. Ecuador may have just been cut in half. Their rotation has not looked pretty here, and another shot comes through from the Dominican Republic. That's going to shut down that north point. Now, one more player really on that north. Okay, two more players. I thought the player at the forefront was down, but no. So Ecuador playing on as two, but very, very split from one another. Unlikely that they get this res up either. In comes Dominican Republic as well on this western side. Going to control a lot of the ground on that area. Honduras going to be very happy that they made their move earlier on. In the meantime, on that south side, you've got Canada trying to move in as well as Venezuela. And the nades just keep on going over. It's not good news for Ecuador. They're having a tough time right now.
Yeah, they're having a real tough time. We knew they would. Dominican Republic, Mexico, all having a little bit of a slice of the pie, as it were. And actually, it's going to be Dominican now moving forward onto that hillside, trying to get a better angle on just the rest of the lobby, seeing what the lay of the land is. Mexico as well, though, have been sitting in this compound for a good long while. It's been...
Oh, I think we've lost them to her again there. As we head into the final five, 23 minutes on the clock, stage 6 already. With the Dominican Republic still holding that west side, fairly uncontested right now. There's this glut of teams in this central compound that is just so difficult to get rid of. And to be honest, it kind of is only the Dominican Republic that would have a chance at assaulting somewhere like this. So Honduras being in there is real good news, because any other sort of position, they would be so exposed to the Dominican Republic on that roll-up. But if Dominican Republic try and go for that roll-up, it's Mexico taking shots, it's Venezuela, it's Canada taking shots immediately. There is no safe angle to approach. They need to isolate it with smokes or get in through the windows as fast as possible if they want to go for a roll-up like that.
Absolutely true. We are going to be seeing the effects of that coming on through. 5 teams still. Somehow, still 5 teams. Only lost a couple. Venezuela, last team, or won the last game, let's put it that way. Here again in the top 5. Looking for now their exit point over onto Canada. They got one knocked. They're trying to get another. Ooh, but the third party's a little bit too much. Ooh, that's going to be the Dominican Republic legend swiping up a few of those points. Both Canada and Venezuela falling victim to them. And this is the push now. Ooh. Full send over into Venezuela.
Nice big sweep out wide. They are rolling on down towards the south side. Papisao still on the back, looking for that off angle there, needing to control that front position as well, because they've taken a knock on the inside of the tower, and Robs has got the nade as well, and it is cooking. It's looking pretty on target. There's an answer, and Legend goes down to it. A lovely launch nade forwards there, and maybe they've bitten off too much here. They just can't quite chew through it. But they could get the reses. They could get these resets. 2 more nades now left standing. They're crawling back on the inside. In comes Papisao to draw attention, if nothing else. This gives them time to get this reset, to get these reses. All the while, the teams on the inside of these compounds looking pretty happy, waiting for this team to dismantle itself or each other. We'll have to wait and see who's going for it. But with only one player now left standing, Venezuela can't afford to be putting too much pressure onto the Dominican Republic, who get all of their players back up and alive.
Oh, that is a tough reset coming in for Venezuela. Oh, and the nades are coming in. That's even tougher. Legend continuing his vendetta. There we go. Mexico trying to say something here, as is Honduras, actually. So Dominican Republic, all they can do at this point is throw those nades, but they cannot afford to lose anybody else here. They have to just chill. They have to stay in their lane, because the other teams around them are definitely going to be looking for that. But it is going to be enough if Venezuela are just pushed away, right? That's one less team that Dominican need to actually think about. So that's going to be their focus. Get rid of Venezuela as soon as possible.
the number of nades still in Venezuela's pockets is going to be really nerve-wracking for Dominican Republic. In that scenario, the circle shifts all the way up north, and they're going to have to leave it as well, which makes this all the harder. They're going to have to figure out how to get rid of Venezuela and deal with the Honduras off angle, who now have got center circle on this next one. Their building is high value indeed. Mexico are going to keep taking shots, and that might help suppress Venezuela's position for Dominican Republic to be able to march forwards.
Absolutely. Still 4 teams left. It looks like there's only 3, but there is somebody waiting in the wings here. Mexico, Honduras, Dominican Republic, and Venezuela all still here. That Harry Potter tower and a few smokes, man. Crazy how much that can do, but the nades are there. They are decisive and they are final. Venezuela go on out, have to be content with 4th, just like Dominican Republic will have to be content with 3rd. Out they go immediately. My goodness me. That was a shutdown and a half, and Mexico looking real pretty for this win.
They've got 4 players, but Honduras have dead center of this circle, and it closes completely central as well. They're going to have to step into the sightlines. Eight rounds on the AUG there for Honduras, so not ideal.
No.
Does maybe want to look for a resupply. Has got that secondary weapon though, so it's just a question of when you want to expend that ammunition.
I mean, in a strange sort of way, Honduras could technically still win this. Looking at that aerial, there's enough smokes, there's enough of an angle. If Mexico kind of mess up here and kind of go at it solo, Honduras definitely could have some angles enough to actually win this and take that 2v4.
I mean, they're waiting for this drop down. They'll have spotted that, or they should have done anyway. That's going to give them a little bit more latitude, a little bit more freedom, but they still have got that rooftop that they're able to vault up towards. The smokes are coming through from Mexico as well. That gives them the approach towards the building. If they can get all 4 players up and towards the building, I think they do have this one in hand. It's going to be really, really tough to deal with. And that nade does a lot of damage. Doesn't quite get that knock, though. Is there an answer? Is there a big opener here from Replic on the garage? As Aragod moves around on the outside, some damage found, but it's just not going to be enough. The first falls. Mexico does lose 1 on the approach, but in a 1 versus 3, he needs a little bit more. Replic now with it all to do. At range with a DBS. Looks good for it. Chunks 3 out, but immediately gets turned on, sprayed down, and Mexico able to close it out. A nice result for them towards the end of that match. They have certainly earned themselves that chicken dinner. A nice little turn up there towards the end.
Yeah, very nice indeed. Mexico able to sit in that compound for a good long while, make sure nobody was able to come in. Very defensive, very aggressive in their defense as well. And yeah, coming in at the right time. Very nicely played by Mexico here, John.
Well, it is the right time to go to a short break. We'll be back with more of our matches still to come. Only 3 left for these teams to play today. There is still, of course, tomorrow that they'll have to play through, but we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
my new swag on, I'm dripping. If you wanna chill with a hot boy, come my way for a minute. Come my way for a minute. Step clean any day, won't see man slipping. But you might slip on a drip, man. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Best cut chop, cause the clock's still ticking. Just check the way man stepped. Know that I dropped it different. Know that I clocked it in it. Know that I got this in it. No, you can't stop this winning. I came for the top spot in it. Came for the top spot in it. Came for the top spot. Soon I'ma get right there. I'ma step right there. Got a bot. Came right there in a drop top. Try how you like it or not stop. Non-stop. Yo, if you wanna get this poppin', you better get to shopping. I came in a different drop this time, and they thought it was the same one, they didn't clock it. Oh well, it's nothing. They call me a dripperholic. Just watch how I'm dripping on it. Please just don't be slipping on it. Oh well, it's nothing. They call me a dripperholic. Stepped out with my new swag on, I'm dripping. If you wanna chill with a hot boy, come my way for a minute. Come my way for a minute. Step clean any day, won't see man slipping. But you might slip on a drip, man. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Best cut chop, cause the clock's still ticking. Just check the way man stepped. Know that I dropped it different. Know that I clocked it in it. Know that I got this in it. No, you can't stop this winning. I came for the top spot in it. Came for the top spot in it. Stepped out with my new swag on, I'm dripping. If you wanna chill with a hot boy, come my way for a minute. Come my way for a minute. Step clean any day, won't see man slipping. But you might slip on a drip, man. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Tip up the sauce and spill it. game time, yeah, we on the way.
Hello and welcome back to another segment here on the ENC. We are getting ready to get stuck straight back in towards the North and Central American regions. We've got 3 more matches to play this evening, and we are going to be going back over to Erangel after this one. This is going to be our our last Erangel today, I think. If I've counted correctly, I'm pretty sure, because we've got 2 Miramars to end the day, and if we've got 3 matches remaining, then it simply must be our final Erangel.
Yeah, quick maths would actually say that, it is going to be our final Erangel of the evening, of the day. We can say that, John. It's not even of the region, it's of the day.
Absolutely. You love to see it. You love to see it. Of course, we are getting on through these matches. I believe we've got the overall standings as well for the region as well. As we take a look at those, it will be great to see where all of our teams stand right now in terms of those points they've been able to earn. Ooh, I think that's are those the right points but the wrong teams? I'm not entirely sure. I have to double check that. We are back. I thought that was going to be the overalls. Sadly, it was a mistake, which is unfortunate.
And the points were there.
There were some points. It's just a question of whether they were the right points, or because the flags were definitely from a previous region. But we are going to be hopefully getting up to date with those as soon as possible, because I don't think we've had a full oversight of it just yet.
No.
It's still somewhat of a mystery to us all, which is sometimes an interesting way to be, but certainly can be something that I'd probably want to change. So as soon as we have all of that data ready and lined up, we will be getting it to you guys as quickly as possible.
For bestowing upon us, actually working for once. I don't know what's going on with this. It's fine. We're going forward. It's 2:30 in the morning, and we're getting into match number 3. Well, we're getting into the leaderboards, and then match number 3. That's going to be 4. It's 2:30 in the morning. Did I say that? 4.
Yeah, I think
match
so.
Number 4.
Yeah. It was mentioned. I mean, I have an advantage, right? I've got an hour still behind you, so that makes it. That makes me a spry spring chicken of the day. No, it's still 1:30 in the morning for me as well, and it's this is a very long broadcast day. This is probably one of the longest broadcast days I've done in a long time.
I think it's the longest I've probably ever done.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't sort of done this length of broadcast day maybe since like my student days, right? Like when I was doing like volunteer events for pittance and just happy to get a train ticket, sort of
right.
That sort of
Yeah.
I remember doing an 11-hour day once in the situation that our audio would break between rounds of the game that I was commentating on, and the rounds were lasting like 5 minutes. So every like two or three rounds, one of us would crawl under the desk, unplug everything, and replug it in. And that went on for like 11 hours that day. So that was pretty good. It was because there was a power surge at the venue, and it kind of like fried bits of equipment. So this buzzing kept like adding up over time, and it just had to be reset the whole time. It was. That was a day and a night.
That sounds like a day and a night. Yeah, for sure. My goodness. I mean, it's not too far off. I mean, obviously it is, but it's not too far off what my current tech setup is doing. Because I am traveling, and so I have a travel setup that I was very excited about, and then the cable that goes with the camera is very sensitive, so the slightest little thing is just gone. It's just gone.
Yeah.
And the microphone is as well, so I'm like, oh, awesome.
It's something about camera cables. I don't know what it is, but they're the least connective types of cable in the world. They're just I don't know how they're making them, but they're not doing it right. It does not seem
that way.
Although, to be fair, you may also have to blame the socket, right? The cable's going in towards.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah,
because it's an Osmo, so it's the Osmo vlog camera, so it's brand new as of December, so it shouldn't be that. So maybe it's the Mac, maybe it's the port in the Mac because that's older. But anyway, leaderboards. I think they're ready. Did I hear that they're ready?
Oh, I think we might have some leaderboards. Oh hell yeah! Look at that. It's Mexico at the top with 39 points. They have been doing the business right now. A nice, smooth fall off down towards Canada there, and actually even further down towards Venezuela. An 11-point difference between 5th and 1st place, quite evenly spaced. I mean, this is kind of what you expect, right? With only 8 teams normally dropping in onto these games, it's generally going to be a little bit smoother because you don't have those massive elimination tallies, right? You obviously with Mexico with 25 is a little bit of an outlier, but still fairly chill. And the proportion of points that each team has as eliminations, I mean, it's sort of around half or fewer of those points coming from their elimination tallies for the most part, and that is that's fairly notable. I think you see a lot higher percentage in general across most other lobbies.
That's wild as well that we've got 4 teams all on 16 eliminations. So that's really bringing up those tallies and making everybody very close indeed. As I think I heard we're ready for the game coming on through here, the final Erangel of the day. Yeah, we're going to be going into that right away as we look to see which of these teams are going to be adding to that leaderboard. Here we go. Very central boatyard sort of plane path coming through here, right across boatyard, across Pachinki as well. And that's going to be them moving forward. So very easy plane path, really just goes to, or is left to discover where that zone is going to go. Because sometimes, you know, with these plane paths that they're super easy, just lulls you into a false sense of security because we're about to go into, you know, crazyville when it comes to those zones. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, it's going to be super duper easy for everybody here.
Yeah, Mexico at the top of those tables right now, having a good time trying to get their qualification spot. Of course, there is only one spot here in North and Central America. There is only one qualification spot, whereas a lot of other regions have 2. So it is only one team that can go through. So for Mexico, they would love that to be them. They would dearly love it. We'll see if they can hold that top spot. They are going to have some pretty stiff competition, though. It's not an easy road to tread. And they do have plenty of teams who would be more than willing to take those points from them, right? And that's what we were saying, because it is pretty close towards the top of those tables. There is a lot of opportunity to jump up there as well, even for teams lower down on the tables. We're only halfway through their day, and it is map 4, on which they may be able to find themselves a chicken dinner and jump as far as they can up those tables. We're on board now with Dominican Republic over in Pachinki. And again, everybody's just playing this so quiet in these early games, right? There is really no need on such a central plane path to get involved at all in these early games. Just get that loot on board, get everything you need, and try and transition away to this next circle. You can see actually in a rare turn of events, we get a vision of the circle edge. You can see it just northeast of Pachinki there.
Oh, yeah.
Catching it in, and by the looks of that tangent, they are outside of the circle, which makes it north and centered up towards maybe East Yaz Fields, maybe closer to the river, maybe just around Yasnaya itself potentially, but a little bit north leaning, a little bit east leaning as well is where we're going to be ending up for our final Erangel today.
Well, actually, I think it's very north and very east. Look at where that zone is as we're looking at Guatemala and Severny. It's just on the edge of Severny here, so we are probably going to be looking, I think you're right, we're going to be looking at Eastern Yaz. We're going to be looking maybe a little bit further up as well, a little further north as we're seeing here. We are in the middle of zone here. No edge of zone visible on that mini-map. And Guatemala, oof, getting shot down by Mexico Cole here. Oh, actually hitting some shots there on his second attempt. Can take him down to half health, but that's not going to be enough to get that knock, to get that point away. And that's just going to be them moving out as soon as possible. Guatemala live for one more day.
Yeah, going to be chilling now. Nuba's able to get out of there and did, as you say, take a little bit of damage, a lot of damage to that helmet as well. Good thing he was wearing one, otherwise that might have just gone straight through the skull. I mean, a bad day all round. But they have got an area now in the Stalba foothills under their control. And on the north side, they will have rotated nice and early. Canada crossing the bridge, regrouping up towards, this is on the west bridge out of out of Sosnovka.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to be able to make their way further north. They have got quite a way to go, though. And they're going to have to stop off for a little bit of petrol. Or gas, as other people like to call it. Fuel or whatever it is you use on the mainland over there. Goodness me. Can't
get the gas. Get the gas. Get the diesel. Does the hovercraft run on diesel?
Pardon?
Does the hovercraft run on diesel?
I feel like it's a machine that looks like it does. You know?
Right. It's giving diesel vibes.
Yeah. I think we could say diesel for a vehicle like that.
Okay. Nice. So a little bit of gas, a little bit of diesel, and we're on our way.
I just, I have no idea what the difference actually is. I think it's to do with, I guess, the quality of the fuel or like how it burns or something, but I don't know what difference it makes. I don't know what sort of vehicles should or shouldn't run on it, but I have a sense that is one that is diesel.
It does feel like a diesel vehicle, I'm not gonna lie. I think diesel, it has something extra in it, or more of something in it, and I don't know what that is, but it's for the heavy-duty vehicles. So I think hovercraft falls under that category. You know, it's like a lorry truck. It's, one of those types. Yeah, I'm convinced it's diesel. We're good.
Okay.
This is gas,
I just looked it up. I just looked it up.
Oh.
Apparently, basically, gasoline is generally more volatile and like easier to burn, right?
Okay.
Which makes it good because it means that the engines run under low pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Means you don't have to have like as heavy duty stuff surrounding it. Gasoline contains more energy density, so it's like better in terms of like weight and things like that. But it's more oil-like, and it relies on really high pressure within the combustion cylinder, which obviously makes things tricky in other ways. So there you go. That's what the difference is. And I never knew that before, but now I do.
Me either. Cool. The more you know.
It's 1:30 in the morning. Don't know if we mentioned that.
The things you learn on a PUBG Mobile stream.
we are running neither on gasoline nor diesel right now. We are running on fumes as we are heading into the back straight of North and Central America. They are hopefully going to teach us a thing or two about the rest of this match as we head up towards the north side. A very western crossing here for Ecuador. They're going to make their way up to this north side circle, close towards Stalba.
Very nice indeed. A good rotation coming in from Ecuador, actually. I don't mind that at all. They might run into a couple of peeps over by Severny in that area, but they should be circumventing a lot of the traffic that we're starting to see pile up now to the south of Yasnaya, over through school, apartments, Pachinki. Any of that area is going to be quite volatile, I would have thought. So nice to see that they're able to just get rid of that entirely as a risk and move a little bit safer. Mexico going to be holding on to Alamo, and they're going to be just able to see so much going on. Again, this is going to be a big thoroughfare coming on through here. Canada next up onto the chopping block. Are they going to be able to survive this time around? Last game, they had Baby Tank go out early. They had a couple of only a duo at the end of the day coming on through. And actually, that's going to be Mexico disengaging from this area. Just a scout, I guess, was Milo. So that's going to be him moving on out, moving and regrouping over to Yaz. An interesting decision. Not sure what that one's about, actually, because I quite liked his position on Alamo.
Everyone's trying to get the biggest piece of the pie they can, I guess. Which can sometimes lead to your own detriment. You know, you give up the piece you already got, even if it's a fairly decent chunk. And in they go. Dominican Republic trying to split the difference here. Colombia having a tough time of it. Hits the drop shot there. There is an answer, but 2 players down for the Dominican Republic. It looks like they tried to cross the wrong area. And Colombia, are they Are they going to give up on this location? No, no, no. They're going to send in and reinforce. Okay, I thought it might have been a little bit too hasty to fully disengage because they are playing in a 2 versus 3. Canada could get stuck in as well. Third party potential. Baby Tang has the scout as Legend goes down as well for the Dominican Republic. Victex not quite able to get that full pursuit going, but Colombia should be able to look for this res as well. All the while, picking Molina back up would be huge for them. And Dominican Republic have it all come crashing down. Canada do indeed want to get stuck in though, and that's not going to be good news for Klaus because he's immediately sent back.
Big upset coming on through here. Nice smokes coming in from Baby Tang. Can he save his team? That is the question. Big old third party coming on through as well here. Oh, Colombia trying their darndest. Is there a third party? I thought there was a third party on that hill. Perhaps not. It's just Colombia versus Canada here.
Yeah, I mean, it was Dominican Republic who came in and they've since
yes,
evaporated.
I knew I saw them.
And it was, yeah, the roll down did not go their way, unfortunately. And now Canada seem to be similarly rebuffed on this location. Again, this is in the early game where you expect more third parties than this on an engagement like this. But because of the lack of teams just everywhere across the map, you are a little bit more free and clear. Maybe that's what Dominican Republic were trying to trade on, but didn't go well when Canada got stuck in. Colombia able really to very, very convincingly hold their position as well. I thought it looked a little bit shaky at points, but they managed to pull it back together very, very nicely.
Very nicely indeed. Love to see that coming on through for them. In Colombia, I mean, they're in second place. They need to hold on to as many points as possible, tied with Honduras right now as well, right? So those 5 points are going to do them a world of good in a lobby that is so close together on those points. The zone does move away, and they are going to have to move forward now into those Yaz fields, the southern Yaz fields. But I almost want them, again, to go to Alamo. I think it's underutilized. We haven't seen that be really used all that much in the last year. I almost feel like not many teams tend to go there. It's a short-term base, I suppose, because it's so open all around. It does make that rotation away quite difficult if you have to, but high risk, high reward, man. It's one of my favorite spots on this map, so it's nice to see somebody at least try to use it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the difficulty of the surrounding area can come back to bite you, but as you say, you can get some value from it as well. See how far that goes. I mean, getting the number of points that they did on that position was great news, right? They were able to get a lot earned by the teams trying to push in towards them. And there's still yet more to go on this game. North side of Yasnaya now is a little bit more contested. We're up to stage 3, so teams will be coming across one another. As the airdrop descends just outside on that northwest edge around the Yaz Lake. Actually centering up a little bit. It looked like the circle was centering up a little bit towards the just south of Yasnaya. So it may have been a hard south shift.
Might have been, actually. You're not wrong. See if there's any teams that are up on that mountain that are going to start making that descent here. 7 teams left. Lost just the one, I think. We're looking over towards Ecuador, Guatemala as well. 0 eliminations on the board, but still a full squad. They've been able to stay up, stay out of trouble, and just wait for that end game to come on through. Unfortunately, end game might just be stage 3 here, right? I mean, we're looking at teams now starting to move a little bit closer together, and stage 3 is not far at all. 13 minutes into the game, already looking like we might be getting some action here soon.
Maybe all about to pop off. At the moment, we're in the boiling pot. We're waiting for it to bubble over. As, of course, the zones normally that would be containing 16 teams are only containing 7 right now, which is very much more open than you might expect at the moment. You're just not seeing those elims come through early. Canada, they really haven't had the best of times at the start of this one. Sure, they looked like they might have a favorable roll-up onto a third party, but it just didn't happen. Not for them, not this time around, and that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But they'll play on us too. There's still much more than they can get done here. Remember how important placements placements are. Looks like we're going to the Yaz Fields here as we go back west on this one. A nasty little finisher.
Wow, you were right, John. We're going back to Yaz. Yaz Fields it is. You said Eastern, but, you know, I'll take Yaz Fields. We'll forget the Eastern bit, and I'll say you're right. That was a really good guess.
What if I pretend I said Western Yaz Fields? I feel like I'd be even closer.
Then yeah, you know what? You would be, and ding, 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 right on the money. Here we go.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I said. But
Fantastic.
At the moment, yeah, it's certainly not fully decided just yet. It still catches a lot of Yaz City itself. So could definitely be ending up in a little bit more of an urban skirmish finish. And in fact, it does contain a lot of Yaz itself in this next zone. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see more teams move on in. It's actually, I mean, it actually kind of is the East Yaz Fields. Right? Like, it's this open field out towards the northeast side of Yaz. It may very well end up there. I don't know. All I'm saying is I actually didn't say West Yaz Fields. It's more east. We are just trying to do some trigonometry on the fly, sort of estimating where these circles are. We don't know. We have no idea.
We really don't. I mean, it's great fun to try and guess. So we're going to keep on doing that. As Guatemala now started to make some moves, make some noise, make some waves here. Up against, I believe that to be Honduras. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. They're going to be moving on forward, coming down off of that mountain, off of that hilltop. Hang on, how are you even seeing them over there, Sheo? They're not bothering you. They are not bothering you in the slightest. Just gonna keep on just grabbing as much of the city as possible. I mean, look at the split they've got going on into the mini map rather. Big old split right smack dab in the middle, or not smack dab in the middle, on the edge, I suppose. Yasnaya has become a little bit of an edge position, but still, they are looking in some pretty good control here.
Ecuador just biding their time on the west side of Yasnaya. Just getting around it, getting around that headland. Mexico, actually, I feel like in one of the better positions for this circle, right? They've got access to the fields out to the east side, a lot of rotation ability. They've got all four of their players alive. They are a roadblock to anybody looking to leave Yaz. And they've got that high ground position as well, that sort of sits on the buildings, that overlooks everything. I feel like Mexico is very, very well placed to keep their top spot here. And if Colombia, if Honduras, Canada can't make their way through deep into this match and get quite a few points for it, Mexico's going to start to run away with the day. They've got 3 elims already.
3 elims already, already on top of the points they already have at 39. It's going to push them over the 40 mark and really start to move away from the rest of these teams here. So that's going to definitely be something to look for. Colombia as well, they're in second place. Honduras as well. So Honduras actually tied for second place, in third right now. This could be a big game for them, as well as the zone does shift away from them. So we are going Eastern Fields. Wow, John, you were spot on the first time. Going over to those Eastern Fields, that is exactly where we're centering up.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. That feels wrong. It feels wrong to get it so right. I mean, well, I'd say so right. It still has quite a lot of that sort of east part of the urban environment for Yasnaya involved in the circle. There is some fields there. I just don't feel comfortable about being right here, and I feel like there is still a decent chance we do end up in an urban finish on this one, which would be, I mean, it would be great news for Mexico. They definitely have excellent access to all options here. Honduras, they're committing to the outside, or rather, it was committed to for them a little bit, but they are still playing as all of their players together, and they would love to stay alive for as long as possible. They are one of the teams chasing for that Mexico top spot.
They sure are. Oh, Venezuela do go on down. That is going to be them out, done, dusted. No more Erangel 4 today for them. As, big old split coming in from Mexico. They're just trying to move on out and trying to move forward. Trying to do what they need to do. But it's going to be a long road. Again, it's with a lot of the compounds up here on this side of zone. They are so good, so dominating. until you have to move out of them. And then every advantage that that position has can be and will be used against you. So it's going to be a difficult rotation here for Mexico, I feel like. We're not going to be seeing them.
Oh, I think we've dropped Neptura once more. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for anyone to start to move around this area as the zone starts to close, right? There's just going to be such dominant sight lines poking out from every angle now. And the open ground will not be anyone's friend. Honduras biding their time, though, wanting the teams on the inside to pull the trigger first as we get towards stage 5, in towards stage 6 as well. Mexico very much in the driving seat right now. Slap bang center circle out to the east point of Yasnaya, nice and isolated, and to top it all off, there's an AMR in the drop. So they potentially going to have a pretty great time with this one at this sort of scenario, because that long range one shot is just so deadly with these open areas around them.
Nothing like no time like the present for that little bit of that action, for that sniper action coming on through there. Would love to see that. I mean, that could really just pull out all the stops there for Mexico if they're able to get their hands on that, get back up onto this roof. You could really do some serious damage. I still don't know why these teams insist on not taking one. Like, yes, I know technically you could fit so much more in there, or you can carry better things than a sniper that's not a very efficient weapon to use in esports. I don't care. You get a sniper and you one-shot somebody with a helmet, which they are starting to do now. They have buffed snipers. You're looking very, very good for that long-range altercation, especially in a zone like this, right, where somebody's head just might be peeking through a window or something like that. Much easier to snipe them. Instead, but Colombia looking neither to snipe nor to stay. They're going to be pushing forward into Ecuador, right in on top of them. Here we go here, John.
Oh my god, yeah, literally into Ecuador as they find even more as well. Goodness me, where did they go? Colombia able to sweep them aside. They're up to 8 eliminations now, Nepturia, and that is a real gauntlet thrown down at the feet of Mexico, who are hoping that they are going to fall down. The next zone appears it does head back up north, but again, Mexico stay nice and in the zone in a really open and free sort of situation. It's Honduras on the east that they might need to be worried about. I feel like a lot of teams don't take sort of sniper-based drops because they have to leave their weapon behind and more than likely rotate away. I think in this specific scenario for Mexico, it's literally within their walled compound.
Right.
I feel like you take it and then you grab it up later. Honduras are going to make that crossing now, though. They look for that opening. They're going to try and get on in towards it, and maybe, I don't know if they did take the AMR there, but on the rooftop, Milos is there. Doesn't want to make too much noise, or certainly might be a mistake if he did.
Just watching, I'm observing, I'm having a little look. See, I'm being very nosy. We look over to the city area. You do have Honduras with a big split there. There you go. Gonna be just trying to get that regroup, and Milo being very, very quiet here. Aragon as well. Super silent, just trying to make sure that they get all that info before making a move. They do have Canada right next to them. They do have Colombia, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Colombia as well, right behind them. So definitely one to watch out for. Both of those teams are going to try and make a third-party attempt if a fight does break out here.
I mean, I feel like it's much less likely for some of these teams going for these crossings when there's so many angles out there. To go for a third party would be really, really difficult in a lot of cases. So they need to find the exact right moment to go for it. Maybe a little bit more free on that south side, a little bit more latitude to get out in the open. But it wouldn't go unnoticed. That is something they'll have to worry about for sure. Haven't stepped up to the rooftop just yet for Honduras. They know that the high ground is in control of Mexico and that there will be players on that rooftop. And yeah, there's just no way that they should be stepping out when they know that it is just so vulnerable to the Mexico area. Fran with the time biding as Mexico keep just slowing the pace of this one down. Circle goes, again, very, very central on towards them, and Mexico going to have a good time now with 5 teams remaining. Honduras out in the east. Is that another airdrop right on top of Mexico's compound? Okay, yeah, why not? Just give it to them again. They've already had the one. Why not do it again? Why not double up on that? Fran wanting to investigate it, seemingly. Yet to hop out through the window, but could be a bit of a risk. This one's a lot more into the sightlines of Colombia. I'm not sure if I've got Neptura on board. But either way, we are going to be carrying on with this game. Yasnaya is now going to be lit up with nades. Canada able to get the res. As they're pushing in on the west side as well. Colombia trying to hold that one through. Guatemala bringing up the rear on this. Honduras crunching in from the east. Keeping that pressure going. Guatemala want their reses. They want to keep all 4 of their players alive if they can, but Colombia have other ideas. They want to keep those knocks going. They want to keep that flush on side if they can. Stop this team to their north side that is really giving them the run around. A nice little opener for Honduras across the way, just slowing down yet again over towards Guatemala. Reyes with a nade. Ooh, it looked like it might have been on target there. But he's going to go for a little step 2 for the nade throw. The cook not quite good enough and doesn't tag on the damage. Going to have to stay a little bit more in cover though this time. Is that nade? Oh, Nia, is he naded himself? No, okay. I thought it was going to sit right underneath his feet, but instead it is going to bounce back over towards it, and he stays alive for the time being. Honduras, however, in the meantime, were able to take down a Guatemalan player and maybe another, as Canada are now going to have to face them. Nubes steps forwards.
Does indeed. Here we go. The fighting eventually is going to be coming on through here. Oh, and it is going to be Canada bearing the brunt of it, unfortunately. Not going to be a fun time there, as the nades are going to be flying over onto Guatemala. Indeed. We're going to be watching that coming on through. Canada, last player standing.
Oof.
Oh, what a spray on Chico.
Yeah, able to get a lot of work done there. Lovely little knock as Guatemala continue to march forwards, though, not letting the pace get away from them. Mexico get the circle shift once more. It is looking pretty good for them, but Colombia have got 10 eliminations now. This is a pretty hefty points tally. Not really something we're used to seeing on these elimination counters. Double digits when there's only 8 teams alive is a pretty big target. With only 32 players dropping in, that means you've eliminated a third of the lobby on your own. That's sort of comparable if you scale it up to a 60-player lobby to getting around 20 eliminations in terms of the impact that you've had across these teams. And a really, really hefty tally added to them. Colombia got to be happy with that one.
Very happy indeed. Wow, 11 eliminations here. It's all at the expense of Guatemala. My goodness me. Really coming through here. That is going to be fantastic for them. Second place looks more and more like a first. Although Mexico are still here, the first place team. They are still here. They're still waiting for that position to come on through, for those points to just come to them. But might not be as many points as they might think. Colombia really just trying to take them all here.
I mean, absolutely. They were, at the start of this match, 7 points behind Colombia to Mexico. With the elimination count that they have right now, it's going to be a massive dent in that sort of no matter what, even if Mexico are able to clinch this one out. Mexico, I believe, had 4 eliminations. That may have gone up a little bit further. No, it hasn't. So, what is it? 12, 13 eliminations to 4? That is already that gap closed. It's a question of how much further can they go. Mexico with Milos now standing up, spots all of the players moving forwards. They're now aware of his presence. Colombia getting stymied on the approach as well as the rooftops start to come alight with the Mexicans dropping down from the eaves, stepping back to deal with it. Honduras are able to keep themselves going, and Cole goes very, very low. Can they tag on for the res there? He's on the sliver of HP. Another nade. Is it going to go the distance? Yes, it does. Nearly taking down another player from Mexico, and maybe an overinvestment on going for that res. As Honduras should be able to pick themselves back up. Colombia as well, looking to get back up to 3.
Looking indeed, and looking very good. In fact, there, Honduras now, great nade coming over. Mexico, great nade as well. Colombia really just falling to pieces here on the outside. Unable to do anything whatsoever about it. Molotovs as well, just making sure they really can't do a whole lot here. Honduras now with another nade over the top. But now the zone is stage 9. I can't believe we got to stage 9 with only 9 teams playing. But here we go. That's the end of it potentially here as we all go through. Honduras jumping out. Mexico gonna go out to that blue. No, not quite. One more point at least gonna go over to Honduras. And now Honduras is looking for Colombia. That is it. Down to just the one. It's a 1v2 coming on through here. Mexico's gone.
Oh, Molina has the corner, looks for more as well with the auto shotgun around the edge. Honduras have been fighting through from behind Mexico, and they will continue to fight through Colombia. They have both been pushed aside. The top 3 on the tables go to the top 3 on our final Erangel today, and it is Honduras who are able to close down that victory. Brilliant result for them, but Colombia, so many elimination points. Mexico staying pretty late into that match as well, having a big impact on their outpost position. A really nice close down from Honduras. The fact that they were able to get across like that with the backstop as well from Milos, making it really, really hard. Yeah, very impressive stuff on that crossing from Honduras.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Very happy to see all the things happening there, and we will be breaking that down in just a little bit, John. But yeah, can't wait to see those leaderboards.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, we'll be going into Miramar for our final 2 maps today. Don't go anywhere because it is the end of a marathon coming up very shortly. We'll see you guys in a few.
Please just don't be slipping on it. Oh well, it's nothing. They call me a dripaholic. Stepped out with my new swag on, I'm dripping. If you wanna chill with a hot boy, come my way for a minute. Come my way for a minute. Step clean any day, won't see man slipping. Well, you might slip on a drip, man. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Best cut chop, cause the clock's still ticking. Just check the way man stepped. Know that I dropped it different. Know that I clocked it in it. Know that I got this in it. No, you can't stop this winning. I came for the top spot in it. Came for the top spot in it. Stepped out with my new swag on, I'm dripping. If you wanna chill with a hot boy, come my way for a minute. Come my way for a minute. Step clean any day, won't see man slipping. Well, you might slip on a drip, man. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Tip up the sauce and spill it. Can I keep up with the laps? No way. I put that record in a pass, you know it's a fact, confirming the stats. Game time, game time, game time. They about to step on a landmine. Dialed in like a landline. Go let them talk, I don't pay them on. Walked in with the mindset. Money line, that's a big bet. Top 10, I'm a prospect. Turn a problem to a profit. Top 10, I'm a prospect. Turn a problem to a we on the way. We on the way. We on the way. We on the way. It's game time, yeah. We on the way. Whole team know the mission. Gotta focus all senses. Gassed up, no omission. Eyes on a vision. Gotta handle business. 100 yards on a play. Big dubs on the way. Two play, it'll be played. Get up out my face. We are not the same. Get down in the city, I'm back on the base. Gotta get to it, no pain is safe. Running the game, they running away. They running their mouth, you know they are fake. Pick a side, pick a side. Okay, is you on for the ride? Okay, new kid on the block, next up, best up on the rise. New kid on the block, next up, best up. We on the way. We on the way. We on the way. We on the way. It's game time, yeah. We on the way.
Done and dusted with Erangel. Now it's time to head over to Miramar for the end of the day. We've got 2 more matches left to play here in North and Central America. At the moment, it looks like we've got a couple of front runners starting to look at the top of the tables like they might be able to distinguish themselves. Let's take a look at the overall standings as they sit at the moment after our first of 4 matches that we've seen played. Colombia still looking to keep the tables. Sorry, not still. They have managed to jump up into first place. Mexico only 2 points behind. Honduras only 2 points behind that. It is a 3-horse race right now towards the end of the day. And remember, there is 1 qualification spot. So setting yourself up for tomorrow is very important here.
Extremely important. And so far, it really only seems like the top 4 have been really able to do that, right? You do have 52, 50, 48, very, very close in the top 3 there, but 48 to 34, you're starting to look at a 14-point gap here, going 34 to 29, another 5 points, and list goes on, right? So between 3rd and 5th is actually going to be quite a large gap coming through there. Nearly 20 points, 19 points, something like that. So yeah, you are looking at, a 1 decent game, sure, but the way these teams have been played, the amount of eliminations they've been able to put up, might be a little bit harder than you might think. So yeah, these next 2 games definitely going to be super important when it comes to that setup for tomorrow, Jim.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean, when you consider sort of just the averages of earning points in a lobby like this with 8 teams dropping in at any time, you're cutting away sort of like a third the points that a lot of teams are going to be earning at this stage, right? Because it's half the elimination value. And when you consider that, well, certainly at the moment, it looks sort of to be vaguely a 50% ratio, maybe a little bit more than that in terms of elims to placements. yeah, you're looking about a third of the points getting sort of just evaporated, which generally actually makes Colombia, Mexico, and Honduras' performances so far all the more impressive, because that is some real big numbers getting put up on the scorecard. Actually, I don't know what the effect is on the top of the tables, because teams who win chicken dinners may indeed get sort of similar elimination counts, but yeah, it'd be interesting to do a little bit more of a deep dive on the stats of that all. But either way, there are fewer points being earned because of the nature of having fewer players in the lobby. It's just the nature of the beast, and that can sometimes be a little bit annoying, especially if you're a team that loves to focus on eliminations, especially in the mid game.
Right. Yeah, that is going to be something to really keep in mind, right? If you are a team that's a little bit more aggressive, used to searching teams out, finding teams on those rotations, and then there's no teams to have those rotations to interrupt, yeah, you are going to have a really hard time actually to move forward and try and play your best if that's your play style. So, yeah, it is going to be very challenging, and I think we might be seeing a little bit of that coming into play as well.
Yeah, it's only going to develop further from here, and I'm sure it will be quite interesting to keep track of. I mean, the new dynamics being brought into to this sort of style of lobby is very, very interesting, and probably very unpracticed by a lot of coaches, a lot of analysts, a lot of staff, and a lot of our players. But we'll have to see if they got the practice on Miramar, because we are going to be heading on in for the first time for this region, and to the penultimate time for this region as well for today. We have got Miramar locked and loaded. The lobby, I believe, I've been reliably informed, is ready to go. And there we are. We are into map number 5. This is not Erringle. It is not map number 4. As we head on into the desert one more. Teams are starting to come on out plane as well. Looks like a little bit self-leaning. You can see us heading on Mountain Wave off in the distance there. That big crow is a nice little indicator of that. So, yeah, reaching about halfway up the side on this plane path.
Yep, that's going to be super decent. Lots of little nooks and crannies to get to if your position is not where it needs to be or where the plane path is going to let you be. So super easy. Yeah, we're in for a pretty chill first 20 minutes. I'd say here, John, this is the time to yap. If there was any time, it's going to be right now, because Miramar's big, team number small, and decent plane path. Not going to really put anybody together too early.
Yeah, it's hopefully going to be fairly chill, but you never know. Picardo could be a drop. We saw it both matches over in MENA. Over in West EU on the Miramars. We had hot drops in Picardo both times, both involving Sweden. But yeah, that was interesting.
Gosh darn it, Sweden.
And they were only playing 19 lobbies as well. So that was again just a very odd turn of events. But well, Colombia aren't in a hot drop. What about anyone else?
Right. Well, that is useful information. I'm looking now at Dominican Republic. Okay, this is where we get to guess where the zone is, because we are 140 meters from zone here for Dominican Republic. We have an S. We have an L.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I believe, Impala, right, out on the east side. As they are going to be looking ahead on forwards. The S, I believe, is from Los Leones.
It is. You're right.
Yes, that junction that's to the southwest of Impala. And the zone, you can see the edit just there. So if you sort of try and go directly in, what are we talking, like pretty much just a touch of northwest from this location towards the center, and sort of generally the size. I think that this current first phase circle is centering up just about to the east of Hacienda, maybe? Or maybe like closer to Minas Gerais. That sort of area, certainly.
Indeed. Okay, that's going to be a decent position. Yeah, we're over here in Chumaceta, and we are 1,000 meters rather from the zone. So yeah, Colombia going to have to move forward pretty quickly. And Impala generally is quite spicy end game, so we'll see how that goes. We do see the JS9 coming through here for Medellin. Is it Medellin or Medellin?
I think whatever floats your boat, really. I think if they, let's go. You can go with that.
It's
I might
giving
say Leon
Transformers.
at various different points. I mean, it is. I think this is the angry evolution of Eevee, right? Madion.
Sure. That's a Pokemon I know.
Oh, okay. Max would have loved that. Max would have absolutely gone wild for that.
You
like,
should get him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's asleep by now, to be honest. But yeah, no, it was pretty top shelf. I'll be honest.
That's great.
I just don't have the appreciation that it does.
I'm so sorry.
It may actually also be the very real origin of his name, because it is sort of that level of like, could definitely be the case. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to discuss this with Max later or tomorrow.
For context, all of the evolutions of the Pokemon Eevee are named after like an element or of something, and then with E on the end. So you have like Vaporeon and like Flareon and Jolteon and like Espeon, like all of the.
So mad! You know what? That was top tier. Well done.
Yeah, there you go.
10 out of 10.
There you go. Yeah. And I don't even like Pokemon.
You know far more about it than I do. My goodness.
That doesn't mean I like it. I know a lot of things about a lot of stuff that I don't like, but
Fair.
It's just in there, and I can't get rid of it. I keep rattling it around, trying to, bounce it off of stuff, but it's just it just sticks. And then I can't remember things like, my parents' birthdays, and it's really unfortunate because I love them dearly, and I wish I could remember them much more easily.
Parents' birthdays now. Go.
No, I'm not going to give you my and maiden name as well. Like, come on, pull the other one, Tara.
Social security number. Credit card information.
I'm not even going to confirm or deny whether or not I have parents. Goodness me.
Excellent. That is good internet safety. Well done, John. You passed the test, everybody.
Well, something like that.
Yeah, John Allen, definitely.
That's what I've heard. Venezuela. They were driving around. What was that? I think it was in the Sonic car, right? It was looking
very
mighty blue. Hopefully, going to get a little bit faster on the up from the table, because it was a little bit behind the rest of them. They definitely aren't quite jumping up to keep up the pace towards the top side there. For Venezuela, that is not ideal. It is really three teams at the top, as we were saying before, right? Mexico, Colombia, Honduras. These three teams are now in the lead by a significant margin towards the end of the day. And after 4 matches, to be able to put the numbers that they have, it is very impressive stuff.
It sure is. As we're looking to Ecuador. It's Ecuador. Sorry, I'm just being silly now. Ecuador, moving on through.
Yeah, you could stop political incidents like that. Goodness me. Uh-oh. I think we might have lost. No, are you back? No, I think you're back, are you? I don't know. I hear you normally, because normally it changes your mic, and I sort of hear you differently. I sort of like, that's different. But it sounds like it's the same one.
Sounds like it's the same one, yeah. It's fine. No.
Okay.
We're gone.
Okay.
We're gone.
Okay. We're waiting for Neptura to get back. And it is on board with Colombia in a very Christmassy mood here for Victex. I don't know if he's hasn't updated the skins on his account for a while or something, but this is a bold choice, I think, for the middle of July. It is perhaps ironic, perhaps it's a very hilarious joke, but either way, I'm not a huge fan of the Christmas skins in July. That is...
As, a month, all the people keep trying to make it more than that, and I'm like, no, it is December only. Stop it. Yeah, July's a bit much. But you know what? Maybe he just likes the sparkly lights. Maybe that's what it is.
Which, yeah, I can't fault that. But I feel like there's definitely a lot of other vehicle skins that are going to have something sort of similarly appealing about them.
Like the new Ferrari.
Yeah, maybe. All right,
I need to get my greasy paws on one of those Ferrari skins, I swear.
Well, okay. Yeah, good luck with that. It's a real long shot, all right.
Potentially. I have some UC, but not enough, I don't think.
A lot of these players playing on with the latest skins that they can find. Real nice stuff.
Apparently,
And,
that's the latest one he could find. Yeah.
This is obviously a counterpoint to that. Sometimes they just like to be a bit bananas and get a little bit crazy with it. And to be fair, given how well Colombia are doing, fine, carry on, use whatever skins you like. It's totally fine.
They can be a little eccentric. It's fine.
But only when you're winning, because there is only one spot. It's not a first place,
True.
second place qualifier. Like a lot of the other regions, there is only one spot up for grabs. So you do need to be not only distinguishing yourself from majority of the pack, but from everyone as well, as our teams are going to continue to march on forwards. Stage 2 has popped up as Venezuela come across Canada on their crossings. It look, ooh, Canada going to lose another player early on in their games. This has not been their day. They have been slowly slipping down on those tables. Not looking super illustrious with it. Unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeedo, but that's going to be... Oh. Canada trying to fight back a little bit, but I don't know what it is about Canada, why they're falling short so quickly in every match. I wonder if they're just a little too split, a little too aggressive coming through here, you know? Where we have seen before, one of the players will just full send on his own, and it's like, well, you can't really be doing that. These other teams are very bunched together, close up and personal, and you are going to be looking at these teams here where they aren't going to allow that to happen. Class does go down as well, just leaving Cloudy and Baby Tang left alive. And again, where is Cloudy? Baby Tang in this compound on his own, but I don't see his teammate anywhere.
Yeah, it's a little bit split there. I mean, there's potential that the Canadian rotations are sort of maybe a little bit given a false sense of security on those rotations because of the lack of players around. You're like, oh, there's nobody here, and then there is inevitably a team somewhere on your rotational path, and you're just like, oh, if only I could have expected this. And maybe you're lulled into a false sense of security by the general sort of lack of players, but that really seems to not be ideal. So if that is the case for Canada, then they definitely need to change their outlook moving in towards tomorrow to be able to get a better run at things.
Where exactly? Okay, so Mexico are actually in up in Hacienda. That's going to be another good position for them. We saw them do that in one of the Erangels as well, right? Where the first Erangel I was coming in on, I think, where they held up a large compound in the middle of zone and stuck to it until they found the opportunity to actually start being aggressive, and it's kind of seeming the same sort of pattern here. They've got Hacienda, it's kind of in the middle of zone. They're just waiting for those teams to kind of figure out where they want to go before starting to get aggressive, and with only 2 behind Colombia, they're going to keep on holding on to that strategy, make sure that they play as safely as possible. They do not want to fall down to 3rd, even 4th, if they can absolutely help it.
That is not where you want to be finishing the day, right? You definitely want to be as close to the top as possible, if not at the top, would be good news indeed. Mexico taking that Hacienda position, and of course the circle did pop a little bit towards the north of that Hacienda position, but they'll be very happy to hold it. Ecuador spot a Colombian player. Ooh, that is good news for the teams chasing. Seeing Madian fall is gonna be pretty nice stuff in the elimination feed. Everyone will be pretty happy about that on the Honduran team as well as the Mexican team. They'll be pleased to see that one go down. Gives them a little bit more runway, a little bit more opportunity to close that point gap.
It sure does. I do like what Mexico are doing here. Actually, the 3-1 split in this case is actually working very well. Whereas, you know, on the flip side, where Canada is not really being able to use their splits effectively, I do think Mexico have it kind of figured out. They've got that one solo in a vehicle, just trying to make sure that they have all the information possible, just making sure nobody comes onto the weak side of Hacienda. Because on 3 sides here in this in this sort of compound or area, it is very easy to see teams that might be coming up against you. Milo is on the side that is very well hidden, that other teams might be able to sneak up onto Hacienda from. So really liking this split that Mexico have got going on.
Definitely a nice little flex out coming on through at this stage in the game. Definitely something you can be getting away with. Shots over towards Ecuador does a lot of damage. Okay, nearly is able to do the full Monty, but not quite. And forces Ecuador's scout to take a little bit of cover there before healing up, getting a move on as well. A lot of influence now being exerted by Mexico. From that Hacienda position.
My goodness me. That's a pretty far reach there. Again, trying to just make sure Honduras does not get anywhere near, but the zone is moving, or going to be moving in just under a minute going on here over onto zone number 5. And we are definitely looking at a position where we have to move forward. Here we go, Dominican Republic moving forward up against Canada here. The 2v4, what's going to happen here?
Dominican Republic, 4 players, and they have managed to get up into the wall. Can they stay safe against Canada on the duo? They are trying to pull one out with the auto shotty, but it's not quite going their way. Cloudy is low, has to fend off 2 entrances at once, can't quite decide where to look. Does find the player turning the corner, but it's not going to go well. Baby Tang, a little bit more fortunate in his location, has to step back downstairs, looks to go for the flex out, waits for Legend to peek, can't quite find it either. Not confirming on the flush just yet, but it looks like, yeah, Papi Sour has been spotted and flushed from somewhere, as Mexico are chiming in as well. Over towards Venezuela on the elimination feed. Legend charging forwards now. They low. There's only 1 player left standing. And already a lot of damage sent his way. Baby Tang very, very low now. Dominican Republic should be able to clean this one up. He jumps out, steps wide. Legend goes low, but it's not going to be good enough as he finds that elimination. Now, Dominican Republic up to 2.
Up to 2, and if we look at those leaderboards, right? Dominican Republic just 4 points behind Venezuela, so that is going to be pushing them a little bit closer now. Venezuela still in the conversation here, over onto the edge, right behind Dominican Republic, actually. So that's going to be interesting to see. Canada, though, have to fall short there. Done, dusted, and goodbye. For this game, we still have 1 more game left to go. So that is going to be really the deciding factor about what's going to be going on tomorrow, right? That's going to be the game where everybody's going to try to set up as much as possible, as well as possible, and get that mindset ready to be ready, or ready to be ready. Absolutely, that makes sense. That's a sentence. It's going to be just making sure that they are in the best shape possible going into tomorrow.
Ecuador hoping to try and catch up a little bit on those tables, but it's a long way for them to go now. They are fairly low down, them and Guatemala, still on the teens in terms of those point tallies. Which is unfortunate. I feel like we've seen Guatemala in some fairly late game scenarios, but just not quite able to get that full distance to keep going all the way. They've already managed to get an elimination this match, though. So maybe they can do something on this northern side. It seems to be a lot more open on this area. You can see this flex out coming from Nubes, but the rest of his team a lot further back down to that southeast side. Moving along that roadside backwards here. He's just going to slam the thing in reverse and see what he can get done to look for the regroup. Ecuador, much happier in their compound, though. The circle going to make them even happier as it does shift over their way.
Ooh, and doesn't it just a really interesting circle we've got going on here? Gonna be looking for a little bit of that spice coming on through here. A lot of open terrain, not a whole lot of cover being pushed through here. Venezuela really waiting until the very last moment to move in, and I don't blame them at all. There's a couple of different teams who would love to get their hands on their points. Honduras in front here, Dominican Republic on the side, of Mexico in front. This is going to be a really, really tough zone to move into. They're still on the outside. They managed to get into stage 5, but stage 6 is not going to look pretty. Just 25 meters to go, but it's 25 too much. They need to stay behind this ridge, and they just can't do it. Maybe that ridge ahead of them will let them live a little bit longer, but it looks like they're just going to try and do that full send right now.
I mean, you need to get close to Mexico here. There's no two ways about it. You have to be playing in those defilades that approach that hilltop. Otherwise, you're just going to be exposed. The question is, when do you go for that push? Because there are teams on the outside that will try and cut across you with that, with those sight lines and try and stop you from making that crossing. And it looks like they have managed to do so fairly successfully. Honduras now, again, one of those top 3 teams really looking to put the pace on. I've got all 4 of their players alive, but they're flanking on the south side. Colombia and Mexico both sit before them. This is that 3-way battle for the top spot. Let's see who's going to be able to come out on top. It's a very fast push coming through from Honduras to get Replic all the way up and to the buildings.
And somehow they seem to have managed it. I suppose Mexico trying to get that regroup coming on through, right? Just trying to make sure they don't lose any players unnecessarily has allowed Honduras to actually take advantage of that and move up a little bit. But it does keep them, keep Colombia at bay, actually. So it's one of those situations where actually the enemy team's kind of helping Mexico here inadvertently, allowing them to keep their position, stopping any sort of threat from coming on through. Oh, and Honduras, a great split coming on in on that side as well. Really nice from Honduras, just able to get a real lay of the land going through here.
Mexico have only had 1 elimination so far, but all of these teams on the south need to break around this spot. And Honduras is no pushover in these engagements. They are the lowest elim count of the top 3, sure, but they have got their wits about them. And that is still tough going if they want to try and make it work. They don't have to. Not just yet, though. It's stage 5. Still a lot more time to play into this game. And everyone can bide their time. There's a lot more room afforded to you than normal in a normal match. Normally, you're going to see maybe up to 10 teams in a zone like this. But into this next zone, it may get a little bit more familiar in terms of the pressure that teams will start to feel as they make their next move forwards. With the zone pushing up north, though, Honduras, Venezuela, both going to have to move. Colombia as well, going to have to march a little bit closer potentially. This could all pop off now on the south side.
It's brewing. It's got to start soon. There's no way about it. 20 seconds until that zone starts to move on through. Stage 7 is going to be on board, so that zone is really going to start hurting. So, yeah, absolutely. There we go. Honduras, the first to fall. Now there goes another Venezuela trying to pick up the slack here, pick up the pace a little bit. Honduras somehow falling very quickly. Down and down they go. I'm not sure how many they have still left standing. Potentially still 2. But, oh, Venezuela feeling a little bit of their own medicine there. That's going to be Mexico chiming in as well. Just everybody trying to get a piece of that pie, a piece of those elims, few of those points. Because, again, Mexico, right? They have been here for the longest time, still very secure in this compound. But only 1 team has gone out so far, and Mexico only has 1 elimination. They need to start racking up those points.
Yeah, if they wanted to be defending or try to push into that top spot, they definitely do. But it's all 3 of the top place teams in the same location here. It is a great opportunity for teams on the outside, actually, to potentially change the story of the tables. But with Canada already out, with Venezuela sort of struggling on the southeast side, might just be difficult for anyone to make anything out of this game in terms of those overalls. And we could go into tomorrow with a very, very flat table on the region for North and Central America. It could be all to play for coming into tomorrow. I mean, Dominican Republic with a real outside chance here to do a lot, but I'm not holding out too much hope at this stage.
Oof, Venezuela. Oh, trying anything they can, but it's out of the way of Honduras and Mexico and straight into Dominican Republic. That's going to be the real issue here. Just nowhere left to go. I think this has to be the end for Venezuela, and a solid fight it's been. But where on earth do you go from here? You don't. I don't think so. This rock is all you've got. Gonna try and do something here. Meanwhile, it's Mexico and Honduras. Honduras might have lost one, might have lost two, but it's not gonna be enough to stop them. They're gonna be moving forward onto Mexico here. They are up as 3. Down goes Fran there. That's the first player knocked for Mexico. Gets that flush out as well. Trying to step up. Aragon there. Trying to step up, trying to do something. Colombia knocks their own teammate somehow in the background there.
Yeah, I think it might have been Ecuador actually coming on
Ecuador.
through. There's 3 very similar flags that can flash up and be fairly confusing with Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. But yeah, I think it was Ecuador pushing in a little bit closer to Colombia from that northwestern side, putting them under pressure. Stepping forwards now, Mexico are able to find a reply onto Replic. And get that knock, get that flush. Aragon moves on in for more as well. Looks for the trade, but they're losing teammates. It is 1-for-1 back and forth with these two teams, but Mexico had the numbers advantage at the start, giving them the numbers advantage now. Colombia could third party this though. It looks like they're moving on in. Aragon around the side, does manage to find it, but does go down in the process. Hang on a minute, did they knock each other? No, it was a refrag from the teammate. Mexico now have more to worry about though, because only one player of theirs stands, and Colombia are in there with 3, getting stuck in, wanting to defend the top spot against any pretenders to the throne.
Mexico trying to hold down the fort, but there's just too many angles. That's the problem with Hacienda. It's so open. Great push from Cole there. Fantastic work, but he is going to go down low there and eventually get taken out, and Mexico is done, finished. Finito Benito. It is going to be Colombia now stepping up to the plate, taking hold of Hacienda. Just clearing at this point, though, the back, right? Venezuela is out now. They've gone out to the blue zone. So Colombia able to take out Mexico, clear out their backside, and now they have to look forward because the zone is moving out of Hacienda towards these hillsides, towards the other 3 teams.
I mean, it all depends on how many eliminations Mexico and Honduras got towards the end of that fight as well. How many points they were able to rack up. I think Mexico were able to get all of Honduras down themselves, which gives them a nice, healthy points tally. I think they went down in 5th place as well. So if Colombia go down fairly soon, it could be dead heat on that first place bubble right now. It could be very, very much all to play for. Honduras as well could have been able to get a lot done. They were fighting through a lot of that ground, and I'm not entirely sure how many eliminations they were able to find earlier on in the match either. Ecuador now with that position on the northwest side do have quite a lot of power into this circle. Guatemala as well would love to have a really strong game off of this one. Those 2 teams towards the bottom side of the tables with basically very much not that many chances left to put up big games to close that gap. They would love to do it here.
Would indeed. 40 seconds now until stage 9 starts rearing its ugly head here. Vitex. I mean, if you're Victex, I kind of feel like you're the guy who has to tank the blue a little bit and just be on this roof as your team makes the push in. Because what else are you gonna do? Maybe try and take advantage of the teams that are looking at each other, try and sneak in, perhaps. They are on an empty side of zone, and the other teams are a little busy, but every team knows exactly where they are. They know there's somebody at Hacienda. They're also looking over at Dominican Republic as well, so it's not going to be easy. I don't know if it's even possible at this point.
I mean, for Colombia, surely you'd leave at least one player on the backstop waiting for Ecuador and Guatemala to start to get involved with each other, right? Because they have to leave this hillside. They have to push somewhere. The danger is that Ecuador just sends straight forwards and get something going there. A nice pushback on towards the zone, and actually Dominican Republic able to eat that point away. Another knock, though, sent back their way. An answer is found from Guatemala. And then we'll put Legend down Wait for that res. Colombia flexing out, moving 2 players to try and sandwich Ecuador up onto these hillsides. I mean, this is a big risk with the Dominican Republic having angles towards the top of the hillside. Guatemala as well, potentially with a cut across. If they try and go for the regroup, it's really tough stuff. Dominican Republic, though, they are really making it difficult for Guatemala to do anything here.
They really are. Thorn in the side and all that. At least Colombia have been able to move out of Hacienda. At least they've been able to actually move forward a little bit here. Dominican Republic now having a little bit of problems. Reyes able to maybe flush away that player as well here. Oh, really nice sprays through the window. That's going to be that. Plaza will do the rest. There we go. Dominican Republic, I think, will have to just tank the blue, go out to it. There we go. Only 3 teams left here, John. Ecuador, Colombia, and a mystery one. Oh, Ecuador, Colombia, there we go. Guatemala as well. Go out. 1 player goes out to play zone. That's going to be 1 left alive, and now it's just everybody going for it.
Oh, it's a barrel-based fish shoot right now for Molina. He's the downhill shot onto everybody. Reyes as well has great angles. The last player from Guatemala is still alive, and now 3 players from Colombia. They've been denied quite a lot of elimination points this match. They had a lot of players banged to rights, but they will have the match banged to rights. The first of our 2 Miramars to close out the day, and Colombia look to push themselves further in towards first place. A great opener to the Desert Games, as we are going to see them, I'm sure, accelerate away from a lot of the other teams towards the top. Mexico and Honduras, the 2 teams that were vying for it, went down quite a little bit earlier. Question of how many elims they were able to find. We'll find out all about that after the break. We'll be back in a few minutes for our final match today, another of Miramar.
this world that's stopping me. Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I'm balling, they pay me attention. Going up hydraulic suspension. Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I'm balling, they pay me attention. Going up hydraulic suspension. Never young green light, let's go. No amber, no red, go low. Coming with a stop sign, go home. Never young green light, green light, green light. Never young green light, let's go. No amber, no red, go low. Coming with a stop sign, go home. Never young green light, green light. Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I'm balling, they pay me attention. Going up hydraulic suspension. Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I broke it off cause I'm not settling. I got a gift for the lip on the check out of me. Ain't nothing in this world that's stopping me. My Rari outruns your Odyssey. I'm balling, they pay me attention. Going up hydraulic suspension. Never young green light, let's go. No amber, no red, go low. Coming with a stop sign, go home. Never young green light, green light, green light. Never young green light, let's go. No amber, no red, go low. Coming with a stop sign, go home.
Welcome back. We are nearly at the end of the day here, which is saying something because it has been a long one so far. We're closing in, I think, on what is it, 22, 23 hours of this live stream going. We haven't been here the whole time. I think it's fair to say. It was started off a lot earlier on the shifts going in and out. And in fact, the first shift for the next day of games isn't going to be too long from now. So if you're up and waiting to watch it, then that's going to be joining you fairly soon. But we have to get past our final Miramar here for North and Central America first.
We do indeed. We're going to be getting ready for that ASAP. We're going to be looking at the leaderboards first and foremost, then going over in.
Yeah, I believe we lost Nepturo there. Colombia still at the top of the tables after that last match. Mexico and Honduras fairly neck and neck, but that is a 12-point lead for Colombia going into the final match. And given that this is an 8-team lobby, getting this many points on board is very, very impressive for Colombia. They've done it in 5 matches as well. They are putting up the business when it comes to this tournament right now. And they desperately would love to see themselves go even further and represent North and Central America in the global stages, getting towards the ENC finals at the end of this qualifier. Mexico, Honduras, as I said, they are still keeping pace somewhat, but there is now a significant lead.
There really is, yeah. Colombia being able to step up to the plate like that and keep that consistency going. Another thing I'm looking at as well is Venezuela, Canada, and the Dominican Republic all tied at 35, which is pretty insane coming through, but that gap definitely is getting bigger. 68 to 56. 52 to 35, third and fourth, very, very different. And, you know, it ties back to what we were saying before, right? Where we are really looking at how tomorrow is going to be shaping up. And these teams, the final couple of matches of day one, with only one slot putting them into the finals, you really are going to be trying to get as much done as possible today to set yourselves up for tomorrow. Colombia definitely doing just that. Mexico and Honduras as well, you know, keeping themselves in the running, keeping themselves in the conversation when it comes to tomorrow as well. But Venezuela, Canada, Dominican Republic, Ecuador as well. Even I'm not even sure Ecuador. It's going to be a really hard climb for them, seeing as we've not seen that much from them today. But tomorrow could be a new day. We're not going to count them out just yet, as we're going to be going over into the game now, John.
Yeah, I think we do have our final game locked and loaded as we are once more heading over to Miramar, the final time today. Map number 6 here. You can't fool me twice. We are going to be heading on in fairly soon. Plane path from El Pozo, actually heading over not too far to the south side at all. Actually, it's going north of Impala. Certainly, it's going actually pretty far north on this one. So yeah, not really getting a south cut on this time around.
No, indeed. We are going to be going kind of straight across there. It's going to be an easier time had by all, it seems, here. As we'll be watching again. Going to have a pretty quiet, easy first half of the game, or first 3 quarters of the game, really. I mean, we didn't see action really start to happen until minute 25, I feel like. You know, zone 6 was really where we started to see that action start to happen. Oh, well, you know what? Prove me wrong, Dominican Republic and Ecuador. Both going to be going head-to-head here over in El Pozo.
Okay, all right. I just want to get stuck in. Why not, you know?
Sure.
Crack on, earn some points, maybe, or lose most of your players. Both are seemingly equally viable options for our teams. Has Emperador got a health bar, or is it just like super, super low? Does he exist in this game? What's going on with him?
Does he exist?
That's a weird one. Yeah, he is. Okay, he is running around down there. It's just literally on a sliver of HP.
Wow.
The smallest one I've ever seen. Ecuador lost 2 players, and they haven't really been able to get any points for it.
No, Ecuador is the team that I said, oh, I'm not so sure. They're sitting on 20 points. It's going to be difficult for them to come back from that. I do think what? that is what they were thinking as well. There we go. Got it out eventually. That's what they were thinking as well. They were going, okay, we're going to try and get this hot drop, try and switch up the mindset, the mentality, the momentum coming through here, try and get a good squad wipe coming through, but unfortunately just not going to happen here. Down to 2 they go.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but that's what happens when you get stuck on a hot drop, especially on an 8-team lobby. There's no real third parties to come and save you, to maybe draw some attention away. It's just going to go good. It's just going to go well or badly, I think, it's a bit of a coin toss, and I don't think you can really sort of trade on that sort of success, unfortunately. And I'll find out all about it.
We'll say that there is some advantage to having such a small lobby, right? With 8 teams playing, you automatically get 1 point. You guaranteed 1 point every game.
But that may as well be 0 points every game. I tell you what, it kind of does mean, which is sort of interesting, is that because everybody gets a placement point, it kind of diminishes all of the other placement points by 1 in terms of like their overall point scoring value.
That's true.
Which changes the distribution of points that you get to earn overall. So yeah, it's a pretty odd one. That may actually think of, oh, hang on a minute. G on the corner looking for the flush. We'll be able to find the Dominican Republic. Thought they had it in hand, but There was a little bit more bite still left to deal with, and losing a player is far from ideal. That is not good news for them after losing Papi Sour. And 3 eliminations, though, is a pretty decent consolation prize. But what I was going to say is, because so many placement points are going to be earned overall, I suppose that may actually offset the diminished elimination counts that teams are going to be seeing. I mean, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting.
It is.
To think about, but I think it's a little bit too early in the morning to be thinking about that sort of thing.
Potentially, yes. And yeah, we are actually at the hour where it's early in the morning, not late at night. Oh, goodness. Yep, it is indeed. I think that and math is not something that should be discussed at 4 a.m., quite honestly.
Or exclusively at 4 a.m. One of the two. I don't think I'm in a position to make that call right now.
Me neither. You know what? Instead, I'm going to watch the bunny car as he hops out of it and immediately changes over. Sorry. He doesn't like the bunny car. Okay, moving on.
Oh,
Mr. Taro.
Can't watch that anymore. Rude.
No, can't be having that. It's all furry. It's all fluffy.
Yeah.
You just don't want sand in your coat. You don't want sand all in your fur. It's not fun. It's not a good time. I understand.
I've never had enough fur to know about that.
That's
I
fair.
suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, go to a beach and sand gets everywhere. I can't imagine if you had fur, how much worse that would be.
That would be awful. There's apparently a distinction between hair and fur. Apparently, they are two distinct things. Yeah.
Are they?
This is something I don't know if it was someone lying to me. Canada, traditional as it goes, they are losing players early. Baby Tang does get refragged before he can get the flush, and that's going to be picked up. Mexico happy to pick up those points. Klaus wants an angle onto Cole, but not going to be able to find it.
Unfortunate, yeah. Baby Tang able to get that trade, but not the flush, so no points going over to them, and Klaus is going to try to do something here, potentially. I mean, Baby Tang still is able to be rezzed. If they can get rid of Mexico to the point of just being able to get this res, but that nade is looking very good from Fran. Nope, not going to be doing anything, but does flush him away from that rock so his teammate can get him. There we go. Klaus goes down, and Canada just struggling to do anything in these last few games. I know they're fairly high up on that leaderboard, but I'm not sure how they've managed it, if I'm quite honest, right? I mean, they have done minimal points per game. They've lost players constantly throughout the early stages. Very confused about how they've got as many points as they do.
That's anyone's guess, right?
Yeah.
But they have been able to accrue them nonetheless, and that is a point. Any point is as good as another, no matter where they come from. They're all equally valuable. Although I suppose that's not technically true, because placement points do contribute to tiebreak more. So there is that's the first like tiebreaker layer when it hits points for that front. So maybe not all points are exactly equal, but they're all still pretty good. And I don't think you should turn your nose up at any of them, because the more you have, the more likely it is that you can go further.
That is true. I mean, Canada, one of those teams that might just be in a good position still tomorrow. If they can just work out what's going on these rotations, then they could be looking pretty good for a turnaround, one of those comeback stories coming into tomorrow. So not going to discount them just yet, but yeah, those rotations, something about those rotations needs a lot of work before tomorrow.
It is hopefully an area to be adjusted on. Potentially the last day to do it as well. If you don't make it through in first place at the end of tomorrow for this region, other regions have different numbers of teams qualifying, but if you don't make it to first place, you don't qualify. So desperately looking to try and fight this. Potentially inexorable tide sweeping them away. I think, did the circle came through? I can't remember exactly where it was just then.
No, I didn't see it.
We're now on board with Chumacera.
Oh, goodness.
It's all good. He's back in.
We're fine.
He's riding strong.
Hasn't gone exploding yet. 500 from Chumacera, though. That's where we're going. We're 500 out, 300 out now. So we are going a little bit north, probably over towards San Martin a little bit, Picado as well. Yeah, that's the edge of zone there, stage 2, just outside of Picado down to the southwest side. So yeah, definitely going to be kind of heading back to the similar area that we were in the last game.
Okay, that's a revisit to an old friend, potentially. So we'll have to hope that our teams are going to have more fond memories of this area. But you know what? It looked pretty gnarly the last time around, so could get difficult if things keep going the way they did in that previous game. Very difficult approaches. Not a lot of super top tier performances from a couple of our rosters. Colombia, they're in that top spot right now at the start of this match, and it looks like they have a challenger. Honduras actually able to find the opener towards Molina. If Honduras can take Colombia down here, they have a real big opportunity to jump up and try and take that top spot from them, but they are still quite a way away. 16 points behind at the start of this match. They can put a 4-point dent on it right here, right now, but it looks like Colombia just going to get away with this one. Just going to try and skedaddle and do so fairly successfully, it seems.
Yeah, actually, they're able to just go, you know what, disengage, not worth it. We don't want any of this heat. We're looking way too good, and the gap is not large enough for our comfort here, so Guatemala are going to have to try again some other time. The number you have dialed is not available at present. They're going to be moving on over. Gotta watch out for Colombia, though, as well, though. They're going to be... No, we just talked about Colombia. Gotta look out for Honduras as well. Gonna be big chilling over there. Outside of Picado, nobody's in Picado, but Canada is right here. Unfortunately for them, the entirety of the lobby has moved in right next door.
It is, yeah, it's not particularly favorable here. The question is, will he find an angle? Yes, he will. Honduras seemingly unaware that there was a lone soldier still left standing for Canada. Is not good news for Honduras. They were feeling themselves a little bit on their push over towards Colombia. They gave ground. They were like, yeah, we're the big dogs right now. But they forgot that even the littlest dog can have an impact. And it looks like Kiddo wants to be that little dog of the fight. And it will bite another into the tallies for Canada. A nice turnaround here coming on through. And Honduras may just be losing to a 1v4 here, which is not what you want to see. A big nade from Kiddo, and he's now really got it on the cards. Could potentially be able to find this. Needs to be worried about the player on the backstop. Sees him drop out the window. Knows exactly what he's playing up against. Knows that he's behind it. Nice. The Molotov in, perfectly placed, forces him out wide. Might have caught his ankle there, but it's going to give him the time to step out for the flush. Needs to hop back towards cover, because now third parties are coming on in. Does he have the cover? This is a dangerous push, but Kiddo makes the cross.
How? How is he allowed to do that? Insane work coming through there. Fantastic dodging and weaving for him as well. And that's going to be now just these two solos trying to do something here. Anything if possible. Goodness me. Ander somehow keeping alive. Oh, but that's a great nade. Kiddo not resting, not allowing himself to get intimidated by the teams around him. That's going to be another nade. There's a smoke up at the top. Don't go out just yet. Down. Not quite down. He goes upstairs. Somehow, again, he evades everybody. Oh, no, but he can't evade Colombia. In the end, that will be him going on out. But a valiant effort coming in from Kiddo there.
I mean, more than a valiant effort, I think it's safe to say, against Honduras, being able to take 3 of them down as a solo, and the only reason you weren't able to transition for a 4th being Colombia's third party. I think that's a pretty terrific stand-up coming on through. So big shout-out to Kiddo. Even though the team does go down, definitely did the proud, and got them 3 extra elimination points towards the end of that game. So sure, they won't be able to meet Colombia at the top tables, but they can get a little bit closer. However, unfortunately, his elimination point went over to Colombia, and they've managed to rack up 2 more as well, meaning 3 eliminations already for our lobby leaders, which is not good news. I'll give you that information for free. Colombia, much more wary that there's players still on the inside of this one.
Yeah, they do. They knew that there was somebody else in here, but they do not know that Ender has moved far, far away, just moving straight into zone there. Unfortunately for Colombia, that is going to be them just wasting that utility. Reyes only has 1 more.
Oh, okay. We're back in. Colombia, they're getting pushed aside a little bit. They are being waylaid on their road to potentially finding a strong position in towards this next circle. Preoccupied with an empty house. Dominican Republic on the northwest side of this one. Just chilling right now. 3 players alive. They lost Papisao earlier on, but a lot of teams, it seems, have 3 eliminations on their cards. And to be fair, with only 1 team going down so far, but 18 players remaining, that kind of makes sense, right? With 7 teams, 7 times 4 would be 28. So we've lost 10 players from these 7 teams, which means that at least 2 teams have lost at least 2 players.
Yeah, so we're looking at some real dwindling numbers here, which, I mean, means that we've had, you know, a decent amount of aggression coming through in the mid game, but it is setting us up for that quieter end game as well. So, you know, there's always a caveat to those things. Venezuela, though, trying to take it all the way with Dominican Republic, trying to get rid of them as much as possible, but Dominican Republic fleeing to the safety of the power grid area, and it's going to be Venezuela just left to kind of prowl around on the outside here. It is the edge of zone, though. We are moving over towards the cliff sides, maybe a little bit more towards, I don't know, San Martin, or just the western side, that church area as well. So we are going to be moving in that direction. Again, very open up on top of this cliff.
Open cracking ground for Fran. Try and connect over towards Ecuador, but just getting out a little bit before the hard cover there, and still tacking on a little bit of damage here and there as the vehicle goes up in flames. The crossing has been made, but at what cost? And again, another team with just a 3 elimination tally on board. It's looking pretty gnarly for them. And Ecuador, they needed to stay alive there because this is their last player standing. Ching Ching is trying to keep things together for the roster.
Sure is. Actually, Luis got a pretty good sightline onto most things here, able to figure out who's where and hopefully figure out that there is actually nobody over there. That's going to be a great transition over for his team. I think that's the sign that they're ready to go. Oh, as long as the vehicle is not stuck here. But Mexico continue to take control of central or mid-position high grounds. That is just their thing. That's their MO, and they do it to a T. Here they are again up on these cliff sides, just ready to take down anybody who wants to go past them.
Add to the elim count. Just keep on going. Hope that Colombia makes a fumble, and that you can pick up the pass. An opportunity maybe a little bit rarer than they would like, but it's kind of what you can hope for. Just play your game. Try and keep your wits about you. Play to your strengths. And with Colombia in the shadow of this hill, Cole might be able to do a lot of damage there. Real potential.
There is real potential. Again, Mexico with the 1v3 split. Milo, again, being that solo player. It's real interesting stuff happening through here. Nice to see, again, I don't know, it's just nice to see that consistency coming on through. Like, they definitely have a strategy. Sometimes with these other teams, we haven't been seeing as a consistent enough strategy as you typically expect from teams playing a global. But for Mexico, it really does feel like they have a strategy that they really like, that works for them, and that they will keep doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Sightlines over towards Venezuela. Fran is picking his target, waiting for the team to line up the shots and call their shot. Waiting for the angle. Oh, he wants it. He wants to find it. There is going to start to be answers from Venezuela as their attention is turned to this hilltop. But they aren't going to unleash just yet. Mexico still on a full surround, and Colombia now pushing in behind. I don't think they want this fight on both fronts, so preoccupied potentially over towards their southeast flank, as well as the Lone Ranger from Honduras. All three of our top teams, again, just crammed into one place on the map.
They love doing this. It's great fun for them. My goodness. They are going to be just big chilling. Oh, Victex. Oh, is he going to go for it? Oh, he could. He's not gonna. The trigger discipline is crazy. I mean, I suppose because he knows he wouldn't be able to get up there in time to actually take the flush, and then it's GG's for him. So I suppose that makes sense, but still, that would have been a very satisfying knock.
Absolutely. I mean, you take what you can get. Also, there's no guarantee that he would have been able to get the knock, right? It's not unlikely that Fran could just hit the deck or scramble out the way before the spray fully connects. Unless you're hitting like triple headshots just consistently, it can be a little bit more of a risk than the reward might negate. Grabbing up one of those care packages dropping from the sky. The supply crates in there. Guatemala, with their 2 players now left standing, up against the Dominican Republic. With a knock already on the back lines for the Dominican Republic, they are slightly diminished in their position. And the nades are flying back and forth, both expending quite a bit of utility here to try and make an opening, to try and get something done. But in the meantime, Colombia have taken a knock from Mexico. And is that a flush or is that another knock as well? Mexico seemingly holding pretty well on that side of it. In the meantime, on board with our fight that we're on now, Dominican Republic getting a big nade over the top. And that's going to see Guatemala to sleep for the day. They can go to bed, as that is their day done and dusted. 5 teams now remain, and a lot of the teams are on the southeast side and in our top 3 of this tournament right now.
Yes, they are. That gap is just continuing to get bigger and bigger. Here we go. Top 5 coming on through. Mexico still big chilling again, getting a drop. Not sure what's in it, but they do have that drop on their side. Colombia scrambling up the walls here, trying to find any little angle they can. They do get inside a zone, but Mexico knows they are there, ready and waiting for them. So that is going to be a fight that is going to erupt eventually. Venezuela on the other side. You also have, I believe, Colombia on down to or up to the north side there as well. Not Colombia. You're so right. These flags are very similar. Who's this? Ecuador.
That's Ecuador.
Okay.
If it has a big splodge in the middle, it's Ecuador. If it has an arc over the middle bit, it's Venezuela. If it's got nothing, it's Colombia.
Excellent. You know what? A great way to remember them. So this is Ecuador. Final player of Ecuador. Probably not going to be that much of a threat, but still, we have seen today, John, what a solo can do, so can't really put it past him.
I mean, yeah, that is true. We have seen some pretty crazy results from solos over the course of these games today. Not only in this region, although we did see some pretty spectacular stuff not just minutes ago from solos. And it's the reason why Honduras, I believe, are out currently, if I'm not mistaken. They may have been able to sneak through. I think no. On that southeast side, the last player from Honduras did go down at some point. Mexico now starting to wend their way in towards the center of the circle. 5 eliminations. This is a nice pace for them to be able to keep, but Colombia are still in this game, and the placement points will really help them stay ahead. The question is, how many of them can they get, and how many eliminations can they bring down with them?
That is the question indeed. Venezuela looking very good in that central position. Mexico eventually will have to come to them, but Mexico really should wait for some sort of clash between Venezuela and the Dominican Republic coming on through there. If that is going to be something that happens, they are closer together, so probably a clash is a little bit more likely. And then Mexico are going to be able to take advantage of that third party and sandwich it up and eat it for lunch. So let's see how that's going to work. Mexico with 5 eliminations, still looking very, very decent here.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely possible there. Mexico just biding their time, though. They are not getting too aggressive with it now. They already made that major leap forwards into this zone, and now they don't need to go too much further. This is the engagement potentially between Dominican Republic and Venezuela starting to unfold. But with only 2 players, they can't fully commit. They definitely need a pick to be able to get in and kind of do anything here. And we're sort of waiting for that to happen. Ecuador on the northeastern side, trying to stay out of danger, it seems like, for the time being.
I mean, that's fair. It's the last game of the day. You want to make sure that you get into a position where you're actually able to play your game. And if that means, you know, being in a shack or being in a ridge for half the game until you get a favorable outcome, then so be it. You know, you got to change up your mindset any way you can and figure out what really makes you tick. And that is going to be the thing to do, especially in that last game. Just changing that mindset, changing that momentum coming through for tomorrow.
It is very important, but you know what's better than mindset is having loads of points, and Mexico are looking to stop Colombia from dragging away from the rest of them. But I mean, in 5th place, you're already adding quite a few placement points, right, to your tally. It is, it gets up to 3 points, right, for 5th place.
Yeah,
and that is already pretty hefty when you consider the sorts of numbers that we're working with. You add that onto any eliminations you're able to find. It's a question of just not going down within the next 2 teams, and Colombia almost certainly end the day in the top spot, especially if they can find a pickoff onto Mexico like that. Fran going down. Reyes, does he want to commit for this flush? It seems like maybe not, because he's got bigger fish to fry right around the corner. Cole has to back off, and he's going to bait him around the rock, and Reyes has to hop into the vehicle for a bit of cover. He steps out and actually managed to get it, looking pretty fancy. Is Fran down? Yeah, he did go down in the meantime, but Cole can get back up, and that will be Colombia eliminated. Now, with 4 teams remaining, I don't know if they were able to get an extra point, but Mexico certainly did. They're up to 6 eliminations now with a top 4 position. The east side of the circle looking pretty friendly to them right now.
Looking very friendly indeed. Great push coming in there. Great cleanup on the side of Mexico. 6 eliminations, as you said, right? That's the 1st place team as well, getting taken out by the 2nd place team. That's exactly what Mexico was hoping for. So that is exactly what is going to happen. Honduras next on the list in terms of those points. So no real challenge there as of yet. Mexico versus Venezuela. Venezuela are in 4th with 35 points. Dominican Republic in 6th also with 35 points. So the fight between those 2 is going to be very important. But for Mexico, this is kind of a small fish. These are small fish, and they don't really need to fry them just yet.
Much more interested in the chicken this time around. That is going to be much more palatable to them. A big flex out towards the north side, and last player from Ecuador. He's been a solo for a while, trying to survive as long as possible, but now is not going to be the time to do so. Mexico immediately shut it down. Is Cole able to just turn that corner? Up to 4 elims on the game for him. 7 eliminations now for Mexico as well. And they have got a lot of control. But this open, flat-top mound is pretty difficult to navigate. This is going to stop Mexico from rolling straight on forwards and getting truly within nade range.
Yeah, that is the problem with it. It is going to mean that there's just this open area. You're not really able to move forward. Any vehicles you put out there are going to get blown up pretty quickly before you can really position them. So, yeah, going to be a very difficult rotation through, unless Dominican Republic go for it first. Wait, what? They're bypassing... Wait a second, they're bypassing Venezuela completely. Dominican Republic, what are you doing?
I mean, I suppose they had to go for something, and they are going to indeed go for something. It is indeed one of the somethings of all time, I would say. Aragod with a nade in hand. There's Legend now, the last to stand for Dominican Republic. Milos on the sidelines, and yeah, that's just going to get bombarded out of the way. Burns himself down there, so denies 1 point to Mexico. That is something going on. Knew he wasn't long for it. I mean, they could have done that before, but, you know, why not give it a go? The knock over onto Mexico, though, is pretty big news for Venezuela. They're 4 players alive right now, and it is now the last 2 teams to live.
Yeah, Mexico, Venezuela. Kind of thing you wanted to see. Here we go. Moving on through Venezuela. They are a team that need a few more points. Currently sitting in that 4th place. They're tied with Canada and Dominican Republic at 35 points. Honduras is right above them with 52. So this 2nd place is actually going to boost them pretty high up. Honduras did well, but not as well in terms of points, right? Those points were not able to be converted over into something really useful to try and keep Venezuela at bay. Venezuela in the prime position now to at least catch up to Honduras, if not overpass them.
I mean, they have 0 eliminations right now, which means that even with a chicken dinner, they wouldn't be able to catch up to Honduras. 13 points is their maximum, and that total is getting cut down by the second as Mexico tear through them, ripping them down time and time again. Milos not quite able to hold the sideline, but Cole was there, ready and waiting to pick up the pieces. That was just surgical from Mexico. It felt like Venezuela didn't know what hit them. They had no eliminations at the start of that engagement. They had no eliminations towards the end, so they will be the proud owners of 6 placement points, sure, but that is going to be it for their day. They will not be able to catch up to Honduras just yet. Mexico give Colombia a good challenge, a pretty hefty elimination tally, a chicken dinner to close down the day, and Honduras left with their jaw spun in a really nasty situation. That 1v4 played pretty poorly for them.
Yeah, it did. I'm really surprised by Dominican Republic. Like, I understand what they were trying to do is like try and just circumnavigate Venezuela there and just go, we don't want to bother with you. We're going straight to the source, going straight to Mexico. However, they put themselves in a sandwich position at the base of a cliff that's very open. So it did not work at all. But you know what? A play is a play. They had to try something, and they want to think outside the box. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do there, John. But a very good show from Mexico in particular, just doing the tried and true, hold on to a spot forever, and then lock it down with those Elans in the late game. So very nice to see that coming through from them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a long day, but I think it is time to send us all to bed. Well, maybe not for the guys over in the Americas, but maybe certainly for us here in Europe. This broadcast has been going for nigh on 22 hours, I think now. A little bit around, certainly around that sort of time, and it will be starting fairly soon as well. So there is still more to come. If you want to stay up and catch the rest of it, make sure you stay tuned. It will be on the same channels as you're watching it now. There is still plenty more to go. Every region that has played today will be playing again tomorrow, and we'll be hopefully catching as much of the action as we can with another marathon of coverage here over the course of tomorrow. So thank you very much for tuning in. My name is John Allen. With me has been Neptura for this final stint. We've had a lot of dedicated folks working behind the scenes throughout this whole thing as well. So big shout out to those guys over on production with multiple shifts. Everyone putting in good work. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll get some much needed sleep and we'll hopefully be refreshed, revitalized, and ready to take on the world. We'll see you guys there.